Are we good, Willie? Oh, wonderful. Good evening, everyone. Hello there.
Hello.
Hello.
Can I unmute everyone first? Alicia, can we unmute everyone?
Remember me, we keep in contact. You both call me. Okay, keep in contact. See,
Hello. Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Would you all like to turn
Hello,
on your
hello.
video? I'd like to see all your faces.
Hello, how are you all?
How are you?
Hello.
How's everybody? It's good to see you. Wow, we have a room full today. Full room today.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome, everyone. It's a very exciting evening. We have visitors and club members from all over. Some of us are from home country in Singapore. Some of us, Paul, he's from Cork, Ireland. I caught you bright and early this morning, and we have Ron from Philippines. We have some friends from India. And who else do we have here? Viona's from China. Vilud, hi. It's good to have all of you here. And I will open the evening by introducing myself. My name is Margaret from AIA Toastmasters Club as well as Singapore Online Club. And I'll be your Toastmasters for this evening. Okay, because this is an online meeting, everyone, so we want to feel your presence, but we're also limited by the space that we have around us. But to show your appreciation and show your support to the speakers, I would like to introduce some hand signals. One that we know of that a lot of online meetings are using is the clapping signal. Nothing beats the sound of applause for our speakers. And to welcome our speakers, we want to show the hand sign this way, right? Yeah, let me see your hands. Yes, beautiful, lovely hands, everyone. So this is what we do when we introduce a speaker or you see something that you really like and appreciate. You can also tap on the reaction icon on your mobile phone or your devices. You can either give a thumbs up or an applause. Are we good, everyone? Feel free to check out all your devices and your icons. I would like to open the evening by introducing the club president of the Singapore Online Club. Let's put our hands together to welcome Toastmasters, Distinguished Toastmasters Willie Low. Willie, would you like to give us the president's opening address? Over to you, Willie.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day, Margaret. The world we live is based on power, strength, and domination. We fight against it to try to manipulate it the way we want, so we can say this is our life. What is happening to us? Why do we want publicity? Why do we want to push it to the limit in this early life? Why do we want to do the same to others as they are doing to us? Why do we manipulate others? Why? It was given to us the moment we arrive on earth. We are born in a pure state and full of positive energy, but for that day on, most of us surrounded by negative energy and domination. Let me share with you a recent message that I received 2 months ago from a Toastmaster I know. This is what he spoke. You are still trying to be in the front office, which you are most suitable for. Your strength is in the back office, where no one see or hear you. If people can see or hear you, that means you are in the front office, which is your weaknesses, not your strength. Will you treat this as a positive or negative if this was direct to you? Guess what was my reaction when I heard? I was taken by surprise. I tried to be defensive. It does not affect me at the moment. I remain positive as I focus on the things that I need to do first. Last week, when I was writing this message, this related to the team, I revisit this message again and I went to do a research and I found some past a message for past international president DTM Jocko. For club members, respect means understanding that each member is a witness with his or her skill and abilities, goals and ambitions, and strengths and weaknesses. For clubs members, service means standing up when required to help the club function as a standard learning environment for the benefits of all members. For clubs leaders, service also means focusing on planning and delivery of an environment and various programs conducive to member achievement. I joined Toastmaster to move to the front to be a leader or a manager in my corporate career, rather than be a support staff. What I love for Toastmaster after I left in 2006. Take the feedback that helps and flush away the negative feedback for flushing out of your mind, like using the flushing method when you are in the workroom. Let me end my speech by telling you one thing. A positive frame of mind increases your motivation to succeed and get what you want. It makes you believe you will get what you want. Over back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Club President Willie. Indeed, positivity is a choice and it's entirely up to you. Why do I say that? Because in any situation, there's always something good and something bad. Pain is inevitable, but suffering is a choice. Pain comes with being in a difficult situation. These are the trials that we go through. But how you see the situation and the lessons you can glean from those situations, it is your choice. So staying positive is also your choice. Although maybe now's not a good time to be positive. Thank you. And this evening, I'd like to introduce the appointment holders, without which this meeting will not be a success. And one of the most crucial and important person in this room is none other than our timer. Our timer hails from China and her name is Fiona. Fiona, would you like to say hi to everyone, Fiona? Fiona? Oops, she must be on the timer then. I believe she'll be back. So Fiona is assisting with the timing device this evening. And just a brief note on the timing device. Unlike a physical meeting whereby the timing lights will flash at the respective time, and when the speaker reaches his time limit, an audible device will be sound. But in this case, on an online meeting, what we will do is, once the speaker hits the last 30 seconds, we will switch back to the green light. So let me give you a demonstration. On the 5th minute, the green light will be shown. On the 6th minute, the yellow light will be shown. On the 7th minute, the red light would be shown. And on the 7th minute and 30 seconds, the red light will switch back to the green card. Okay, this is an indication that the speaker has overrun his time. Are we good, speakers? Speakers and evaluators? Great, wonderful. Thank you. And of course, the other very important person is our table topic master, Dennis Stanton Ham. Distinguished Toastmasters, Dennis Stanton Ham. I'll hand the time over to table topic master, Dennis. Over to you, Dennis.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster. Tonight we are going to be sticking with the theme. The theme is positivity, and most of my topics are related to that. And looking at the number of people we have, looks like we have 48 people right now in the group. So there is not going to be enough time for everybody to participate. So I'm going to limit the number of people, and also we are limited by time. So right now we have roughly 25 minutes to do table topics. So I'm going to try to limit us to that so we can stay on time. Also, to expedite this, I would request that those people who wish to participate tonight, please put your name in the chat box right now, and I'll pick the first however many I can get in the time limit that I have. So if you wish to participate in table topics this evening, please put your comment in the chat box and I'll pick your name out of there to select you for table topics. All right, the topics tonight, I said, is positivity. However, what I did was I have basically the same question twice, because there's always two sides to every story. There's a positive side, and then there's a not so positive side. And so the first column is going to be the positive statement, and in the other column is going to be a slightly twisted statement, which is more on the negative side. So I'd ask you to speak on whatever way the statement is worded. Okay. And let me see, I've got quite a few people up here. So I'm going to go try to share my screen, and then I'll go ahead and pick people as I can catch you in the table topic. So let me go ahead and do my share screen. And I'll do this one. Okay, slideshow. Okay, do folks see the full screen of table topics? All right, so that is our table topics for tonight. And I said basically the subject is positivity is a choice, and it's all up to you. And there are two sides to every story. We've already gone over the timing. I'll remind you though, at 1 minute, you'll see the green background, a minute 30, you'll see the yellow, and at 2 minutes, you'll see red. And as our Toastmaster told us, when we get to the 30 seconds overtime, you'll see the green screen again. So make sure that when you are speaking this evening, make sure that you can see the timer, who is Fiona. So if you don't see a green background or on the screen, that is not the timer. So please pin Fiona's screen to you while you are being the speaker tonight. And let me see, I'm going to go ahead, and looks like one of the first people who signed up is Steph from Canada. So Steph, are you ready to speak and unmuted? Okay, see if I can switch my screen here. Okay, Steph, could you please pick a number between 1 and 20? Okay, is Steph unmuted? Can somebody please help unmute Steph? Okay, I don't hear Steph. I may have to move to the next person. Okay, let's go to Jason then. Jason, are you unmuted? Jason from Australia. Okay, why is it so quiet? I'm going to unshare and go back and. Okay, let's go back. Is Steph? Where is Steph?
I'm here.
Okay. All right, let me go back. Let me put the screen back up and have you select.
Yeah, sorry, I was not able to unmute myself. The host didn't allow that, but now apparently I am. So thank you.
Okay, let me put the screen back up. Okay, Steph, pick a number between 1 and 20.
15.
Okay, 15. Okay, your topic is, if there was a valuable item that you really wanted and it was located on the top of a very long, slippery hill, you give up after 5 tries to climb the hill. Why?
That is an excellent question. Who wants to try to climb up a slippery slope on a high hill? Mr. Table Topics Master, fellow Toastmasters, hello from Canada. As you know, we have the Rocky Mountains cross, as you hopefully properly maybe know, we have the Rocky Mountains cross Canada and the US. So we have a lot of mountains that we could climb, but why would anybody want to do that if you can stay close to the ground in flat environments? If you want to climb up a steep mountain, especially when it's slippery, first of all, it is dangerous. Secondly, it is exhausting. And thirdly, the air gets really thin up there, so you cannot properly breathe. Why would anybody put themselves through that? Dangerous. I won't risk my life for nothing. I love my life. I am happy to live where I am. I don't need anything that much that I would risk my life for it. Secondly, exhausting. I am happy right here in my home. Corona hasn't really changed my life much because I've never left my house before either. So I'm not into exercise and exhausting myself, climbing mountains. Who would ever come up with an idea like that? I don't like the outdoors. I don't like exercise. So no, I'm really fine right here at home. The air gets thin on the mountain. That's dangerous. You don't get enough oxygen in your system. That can lead to all kinds of problems. You could faint up there on that mountain and you just die if nobody finds you. You're fainted, you can't make it down yourself, you die. So I don't see why anybody would want to climb up a mountain to get whatever it is that is up there that people might think that I might think it's valuable up there. Sorry, I have no idea what the time is because there were so many participants and I couldn't spot the timer on time. So I think I'll conclude here. Dangerous, exhausting, and air is thin, so doubly dangerous. No way I'm going to try to climb up that mountain. Back to you, Mr. Table Topics Master.
Thank you very much, Steph. All right, let's see. The next person I have on the list is Jason. Jason, can you please unmute and pick a number? Jason? So somebody please help unmute Jason.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, please pick a number.
Number 7.
Okay. Your topic is, have you ever gone out on a blind date that went very well? What did you learn? Have you ever gone out on a blind date that went very well? What did you learn? Go ahead.
Thank you for this. Very good question. I actually never have been on a blind date, so I don't know how I'm going to answer this one. I did go on I was out once, out just having a night with my friends, and someone actually brought their cousin along to meet me. So I guess I could call that a blind date. He didn't tell me until I was talking to the girl, and he said he brought her to meet me, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's nice. So No, it didn't go that well because she was very loud. She liked a lot of alcohol. And she was definitely not my type. So I don't know why he would have thought she was my type, but I guess that's the old age thing. It's like when your mother says you can do anything, or you know, you can have anyone. It's biased, I guess. So I think she had a good time because she ended up having a great time with someone else and another loud person who liked to drink. So I'm sure she had a great time. But me, I'm glad it wasn't the pressure of a date. So yeah, I guess I did have a good night that night. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I guess you learned about loud people who like to drink. Okay, our next person that I have on the list is Jonathan. Jonathan, are you there? Somebody please help unmute Jonathan.
I have been unmuted. Thank you.
Okay, pick a number, please.
Number 7.
7. Whoops, 7's already been taken.
Oh, okay. Number 1 then.
Okay, number 1. Okay, number 1 is, there's a 12-ounce glass container that's filled with 6 ounces of water. You say that it's half empty. Why? There's a 12-ounce glass container that's filled with 6 ounces of water. You say that it's half empty. Why? Go ahead.
Good evening, Table Topic Master, fellow Toastmasters. Welcome to Singapore. I'm Jonathan Yeo, and tonight's topic, half empty, half full. Well, the best thing in this season of this pandemic is to always be prepared. Even if it's half empty, always prepare that there may be less than half available anytime coming soon. So this is, for me, a season of preparation, of preparing in case that there is a second or a third wave of the coronavirus. I anticipate that it might come, yet I also look forward to the time when the lockdown in Singapore and elsewhere is lifted. So I am looking at it as a half full because I want to get back out half empty in case it gets extended, and I'm prepared for it. So that is how I view the world, as half empty, half full. Back to you, Table Topic Master.
Thank you. Let's see, I think a lot, oh, there I am. Okay, this is share screen back up. Okay, thank you. The next person I have on the list is Amelia. Amelia, could you please unmute? Okay, Amelia? Okay, I don't hear Amelia.
I'm unmuted already.
Okay, great. Okay, Amelia, could you please pick a number between 1 and 20 that's not been taken?
Can I pick number 15?
15. Oh, 15's already been taken.
Oh, how about number 4?
Number 4, okay. Here is number 4. Number 4 is, if you were unable to successfully complete a project, how did you perceive the outcome? Was it a failure? If you were unable to successfully complete a project, how did you perceive the outcome? Was it a failure? Go ahead.
Thank you, Toastmasters. I feel that failure cannot be justified by just doing a single project. So if, let's say, I were to fail in a project, I would not feel that I have failed in that particular project. I believe that life is full of experiences, and one might actually learn from a particular project failure as an experience to actually get better and better each day. Like for me, as a student last time, I wasn't doing quite well as a student in group projects. However, I will actually take the chance to learn from people of the same group to recognize their strengths and weaknesses and see whether I can apply their strengths and weaknesses into my own life and see whether I can improve from it. So from there, regardless of the aggregate score that I might get from the project, I feel that the best part of it is making friends, learning from them their strengths and weaknesses, as well as trying to get most of it through the experience I have with the team. And yeah, that will actually bring me to a greater height, I believe. So regardless of the aggregate score, I feel that experience is more important and it's actually good to keep myself in check. So for myself, I feel that failing in a single project might not mean the world to me. Back to you, Toastmasters of Table Topics.
Thank you very much, Amelia.
Thank you.
Okay, the next person I have on the list is Vivek Gupta. Please unmute yourself. Vivek Gupta. Are you unmuted?
Yes.
Okay. Please pick a number between 1 and 20 that has not already been taken.
Start with 20. Just turn on the table. 20.
Okay.
Yep.
Number 20 is, tell us about something that someone did to you that you would never try. Tell us about something that someone did. Oh, I'm sorry. Tell us about something that someone did that you would never try. Okay, go ahead.
Oh. Good evening, everyone. This is Vivek Gupta from India. It's really nice to see you, the handsome and the gorgeous people over here. It's my privilege to get the chance in Toastmaster. The topic is that someone has did which I have not tried. So many things which I have not tried, but the people have actually did for me. One is thing that I have not actually born the babies. My wife has born. That is the one thing which actually my better part has done for me. So she makes me the father of 2 beautiful girls. The another thing is my friends. I'm not a daily drinker, but whenever I sit with them, they drink on behalf of me. A lot of things they have done because they take their packs as well as mine. So they come on the rocket and I was on the earth. So that is the difference they make for me. So these are the things which actually have done by the people who are closest to me. And I'm very happy that I have the people who have always supported me in life. Whenever I depressed, whenever I feel bad, they come forward and give me support in life. If you see the example of the COVID-19, here the people and the relatives are making the calls to everyone, to me, to continue the pace and give the support that this is the bad time for all the world. But we are the people, we are the human beings to support to each other and maintain the pace of life as ever. Thank you, and over to the Toastmaster.
Thank you very much. Okay, let me go back to the list. Okay, the next person I have on the list is it's Nandan from India. Nandan from India. Okay, please pick a number. I'm sorry, it's hard to understand you. Which number? Which number, Nandan? Oh, we lost him. Is Nandan from India unmuted? Please speak up.
Hello. Yes,
okay, great.
I'm unmuted right just now.
Okay, great.
And
Pick
let me
a
go
number.
with Messi 10.
Which one?
Number 10.
10. Okay, great. Number 10. Tell us about something that you did that made you proud. Tell us about something that you did that made you proud. Go ahead.
I would like to ask a question to everyone over here. Have you ever tracked something when you were almost feeling that you would die? The first table topic speaker, I am sure, was telling something about, I do not want to trek mountains because that is too dangerous. That is exactly what I did. One day, I am a very fat person around, and I have never been exercising ever in my life. And I always was afraid of going to treks. One night, trust me, I said, this is enough. Let me go and try a trek. Not small, not big, but the biggest in my state, in India. I went to Kudremukh, and oh boy, how it was. As I went, 1/10 of it, I thought I am dead. I thought I was dead. I could not go. All my peers who have come with me, they left me and went. I was alone in the trail. As I could not, as finding the breath itself was difficult. I went, I hopped, I crawled, I walked, I ran, all it to see the final view up top. And you know, after going all there, what happened? Any guesses here? They said, it's already too late. You're not allowed, sir, to see the peak because you're already too late. You came too slow, you cannot see the peak. That is what was told to me. Heartbroken, I sat there at the end of the cliff where I stood. And trust me, that was the best view I ever had in my life. As everyone was chasing the topmost peak, this one was untouched. And I had the most beautiful experience of my life. As I came down, I got a beautiful memory, and more importantly, a feeling that I can never be defeated. That is something I was too afraid all throughout in my life, and that I've done. Thank you. Over to the table topic master.
Thank you very much. Okay, let me switch this back. All right, the next person I have is, let's see, is it Hung-Ming Choi? Is it Hung-Ming Choi? Please unmute. Are you there? Please speak up.
Hello.
Okay,
Can you
great.
hear me, Denise? Yeah.
Yes, okay, great. Please pick a number.
Number 2 is taken already.
No, number 2 is available.
Okay, I will go with it.
All right, let's see if I can bring it up. Okay, there it is. Okay, when given a difficult task, you are very successful. Why? When given a difficult task, you are very successful. Why? Go ahead.
When given a difficult task, am I really successful? Good evening, table topic master and fellow Toastmaster. My name is Hyung-Min from Singapore Online Club. When given a difficult task, the reason why I might be successful is because I try to drive myself to achieve my full potential. You know, because if it's not difficult, if it's too easy, I will lose interest in achieving the goal. So I try to set some difficult challenges to myself. For this year, I have been doing plank every morning. That's the first thing I do in the morning is plank. I try to wake up 6 or 7 in the morning, and I do plank no matter what, how tired I am or how sleepy I am. I just got out of the bed and I do plank. After that, I can have some motivation and energy to kickstart my day. It was not easy, but I have been doing this plank without skipping any day this year. So the reason why people become so successful at doing difficult tasks is because it challenges them. Then it kind of gives them motivation, the drive. If it's too easy, we lose our interest. So ladies and gentlemen, I humbly want to urge you to set some difficult tasks for yourself. What's the thing you're afraid to try? What's the challenge you avoid to do so this year? It's not too late, so please take an action to achieve your goal. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you very much. Good advice. Okay, let's go back. Okay, the next speaker I have is Dr. Muckles. Dr. Muckles, please unmute and speak up. Are you unmuted?
Yes, thank you.
Please pick a number.
19.
19, all right. Number 19 is, as you were growing up, pick a situation that was difficult and you failed. What did you learn? As you were growing up, pick a situation that was difficult and you failed. What did you learn? Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Topic Master, fellow Toastmasters, and guests from around the world. What did I learn from an experience in early childhood? One was I always wanted to ride a bike. It motivated me to practice, persevere, and more practice to get to learn how to ride a bike. One person told me, as I was failing pretty bad in the beginning, is to dream in my mind at night that I am riding the bike with a lot of speed and power. Lo and behold, after about 15 days, I learned very quickly how to ride a bike proficiently. Then I realized, and I used that in my life throughout, how to practice anything you want to do. It's a project or a vacation or at work or at home, is to vision or visualize, as the people say. If you visualize the task many, many times, it creates energy and maybe a program in our brain to become motivated, inspired, as Hangman just said earlier. If you do something repeatedly, it makes you achieve the goal. Dream is a powerful tool. Learning how to bike was the first early childhood example for me. Thank you, Mr. Topic Master.
Thank you very much. Okay, I've got time for one more. Let's see, last one I have is for Paul. Paul from Ireland. Paul? Are you there, Paul? Please unmute. Paul O'Mahony. Can somebody please help unmute Paul?
Paul is unmuted already.
Thank you.
Okay, great. Please pick a number between 1 and 20 that hasn't been taken, and I'll let you know if it's been taken.
I'd like number 8, please.
Okay, number 8. Number 8 is, when you were young, did your mother tell you to eat something that you didn't want to? How did that go? When you were young, did your mother tell you to eat something that you didn't want to? How did that go? Go ahead.
The Irish people have given me a mission today. They've said that whatever you do, you must speak positively about Irish food. It's one of our biggest industries in Ireland. And I was told by the people of Cork that if I got any question related to food, that whatever I was to do, I was not to speak about tapioca. Irish tapioca was something that my mother offered me. Mr. Table Topics Master and fellow Toastmasters today, I have to hesitate because the memory was so cruel, so crucifying, and so cathartic in the wrong way, that the experience of having tapioca shoved down my throat by my mother while my father held my hair and pulled it back was something that I dreamt of. It never happened at our dinner table. My parents were gentle people. But every night when I thought ahead of what I might be given for dessert tomorrow, other than jelly and ice cream, I thought of tapioca. It spoiled. hours and hours and hours of sleep. And that's one of the reasons why every day when I wake up, I wake with a smile on my face, because the tapioca dream isn't there anymore, Mr. Topics Master.
Thank you very much. Okay, that concludes my table topics. Thank you everybody for participating. So we'll wait for later for the poll to come up and so everybody can vote. But thank you very much everybody for participating. And I will return control of the meeting back to our Toastmaster of the day. Please welcome our Toastmaster. Margaret. Please unmute Margaret.
Sorry. Oh,
There you go.
okay. Hi, everybody. I'm back. Did you have a good time? Thank you. Right. While we're waiting for everybody to put in their vote for the best speaker for table topics, let's move on to the segment we've all been waiting for, and that would be the prepared speech segment. Wow, we have a fantastic lineup of speakers this evening from all over the world, and the speakers will be, it's on the rush to complete their pathway projects as well as the advanced manual from the earlier Toastmasters manuals. And we also have a grand finale this evening. The last speaker will be sharing and showcasing her contest speech. So make sure you stay all the way to the end and listen to all our speakers. So first up, we have Navin. Navin, this Dynamic Leadership, Level 5, Navin Giri. I would like to invite the evaluator for Navin Giri to read out the project objectives. The evaluator is Toastmasters Julie Ong. Over to you, Julie.
Thank you, table topic. Thank you, dear Toastmasters of the day. The purpose of the project for the members to clearly define how Toastmasters envision mentoring. And the purpose of his speech is for Navin to share some aspect of a previous experience as a protege. The timing sequence is 5 to 7 minutes, and all the best, Navin.
Thank you, Julie. Our first speaker. Are you mental or are you a mentor? Are you mental or are you a mentor? Over to you, Navin.
Margaret, you might need to
Where is Navin?
leave off her mic, her audio. So we are able to unmute her. Unmute him.
Where is he? I don't see him.
He's still there. He's there, but his audio is muted. I cannot even unmute him because he leave the audio.
I need to find him first. Navin, can you share video, please?
Maybe I suggest you skip to the.
This is like playing hide and seek. Where
Okay.
is Navin?
Margaret, I suggest you skip Navi and go to the second speaker first. And come back later.
Okay, on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, we will move on to the second speaker for this evening. Don't worry, Navin, we will hear from you in a bit. Our second speaker has been pushed forward. Patrick Guilfoyle, are you in the room, Patrick?
Patrick is also not in yet, so you need to skip him.
Oh, okay. Okay, this is so much fun.
Because there should be a break just now. We should have a break now.
Oh, okay.
That's why they thought it's
Right,
10 o'clock.
this speaker, I know she's in the room. Lee Buckley. Buckley, we chatted earlier on. Yeah, there you are. Don't run away, Buckley. Where are you going? Lee.
Let me unmute
Mute
her.
her.
Okay, done.
There we go. All right. Hi.
Hi, can you
Hi,
hear
Lee.
me?
Good to see you.
Nice to meet everyone. Can you hear me?
Perfectly clear. Okay, Lee, your evaluator is Paul McHoyney. Paul, I saw you earlier on. Where are you, Paul?
Excuse me, Madam Toastmaster. I was a little caught off guard.
My apologies. We were all, there's a slight change in the order of speaking because the earlier two speakers have not arrived yet. So we get to listen to you and your speakers first. Paul, I would like to invite you as the project evaluator to read out the project objective for Lee. Would you go ahead, please?
Of course. This is a level 3 project, and it's all about networking, something that we're all doing right now. The purpose of the project is to develop networking experience, and the purpose of the speech is to tell us the story of an experience that Lee had while networking. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Now we get to meet Lee. Lee has been a Toastmasters for the last 4 years and is currently residing in Sydney, Australia. She's passionate about learning and development. Hence, she left the corporate world a few years ago to become a full-time academic. Well done, Lee. The title of your speech is, "It's not who you know, it's who knows you." It's not who you know, it's who knows you. The time for your speech is 5 to 7 minutes. Would you like to pin the timer on your screen, please?
I'm looking for the timer. Yeah. Okay. Yes, got it.
All right, well, good to go.
Madam Toastmaster of the day, ladies and gentlemen. A colleague of mine approached me 4 years ago to help her charter a college Toastmasters Club. I vividly remembered her telling me, "Lee, you're an academic manager. You can be the VPE." I don't know. Something got into my head that day. I said, yes, I'll do it. I'll help you with it. Unfortunately, it was like learning a foreign language for me. DCP, CC, CL, DTM. I don't know what they're talking about. You know, speak my language, speak English to me. I decided to attend District 70 Toastmasters annual conference 3 weeks after we chartered the club. It was the perfect opportunity for me to master the new language, as well as network with the learned Toastmasters in Australia. I attended the meeting. I whizzed through the different sessions on the program. I met a lot of Toastmasters at the event. Everywhere I looked, people were hugging and kissing each other. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Every time they met. They were clapping at the beginning of a speech. And at the conclusion of a session, they were clapping as well. My first thought, oh my goodness, have I joined a cult? Someone came up to me and said, so what are you? I was stumped by the question. What am I? What do you mean, what am I? Can't you see? This is me. What she meant was, what was my educational level? I felt so intimidated as I didn't understand the language nor the protocols. I was like a fish out of water. Can you imagine? I had only been a Toastmaster for 3 weeks. I had two options. I could run back into my shell and hide, or I could go out there and make new Toastmasters friends. That day, I decided that I would put in place some strategies to help me network at events. And I'd like to share some of them with you tonight. First, always have an elevator pitch. It's easy. Just think of it as table topics. You just have to get your message across in 1 to 2 minutes. Easy, right? What you have to bear in mind is what information you would like the other person to know about you. What knowledge would you like them to know so that they can network with you? Remember, we don't have a second chance at making a first impression. Secondly, set personal networking objectives whenever you attend an event. Ask yourselves these questions. What are the skills and knowledge that I want to develop? Who can I meet and what connections can I build? What skills and knowledge can I offer people at the events? And lastly, set SMART objectives. Make them specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. For example, I set myself a goal. At every event that I attend, I have to make at least 5 new meaningful connections. And I have to either call them up to go for a coffee or email them within a week after the meeting. We don't know how successful we can be in creating the connections. We can't be successful all the time, but at least by measuring our success or failure, we know what areas we can work on. Many months after that event, I spent with my best friend, Dr. Google. I researched all the materials, the abundance of materials I could find and provided by Dr. Google. I went to Toastmasters meetings, speech contests, district events, CLT, which is the club leadership training, and network with as many people as I could. 2 years after the event, at the very same district annual conference, I was the one hugging and kissing people whenever I met them. I was clapping like the rest of them. I even made it my mission to welcome and speak particularly to the first timers at the conference. That year, I was a candidate for the Central Division Director role, and I got elected unopposed. Ladies and gentlemen, to quote Jared Keynes, the author of "This book is not for sale," it's not who you know that matters. It's who knows you that's important. Personal branding builds your reputation to a point where you have presence even when you are absent. I am thrilled today to be here at the Singapore Online English Toastmasters Club, where I have made many new friends and meaningful connections over the last 4 weeks. And I'm looking forward to making many more new friends. I encourage you to set personal networking objectives whenever you attend an event. Make them specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. And always have your elevator pitch ready. You never know who you might meet at the event. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you. Ah. Thank you, Lee. Wow, those were valuable lessons indeed. Smart goals and always have your elevator speech ready. You'll never know. You may not need to go for another blind date ever again if you have your elevator speech with you. That's wonderful. We are moving on to our next speaker, Alicia. And, oh, okay. Can I do a quick check whether Narveen, our first speaker, is back in the room? Oh, appears not. Okay. What about Patrick? I saw Patrick coming through. Patrick, are you back in the room with us?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Wow, wonderful. Patrick Guilfoyle, am I right? Did I pronounce your name correctly? Wonderful.
Yes.
Patrick, let me check if your evaluator is, yes, Smokies. Dr. Mokis Raman.
Yes, I'm online.
Did I get it right? That's wonderful. Thank you, Doctor. I would like to invite Dr. Mokis Raman to read out the project objectives for Toastmasters Patrick Guilfoyle. Go ahead, please, Doctor.
Okay, Patrick, are you there?
I'm here.
Did you send any information on your speech?
I sent it to what's on the web page. I filled out the form on the web page. I gave a sample of my speech, and I just sent in the chat box the evaluation form if you need it.
Thank you so much. I'm looking for it.
I just sent it just in the chat box. You should see it.
Thank you. Let me see.
I should have sent it earlier. I apologize.
Yeah, I got it, Toastmasters. So I'm going to read it and introduce him. It's about to open, so as soon as I get it, okay, the statement is, do you have a title? Patrick, do you have a title?
Yes. So
Yes,
actually,
the title is with me.
Okay.
Dr.
I
Smoky.
changed the title.
Oh, so would you, okay, let's do it this way. I know it's a challenging online and some of the speakers were not there earlier. and some of the information are missing. But we are Toastmasters. We can manage any of these drastic changes. So let's do this way, Toastmaster of the day. Let Patrick introduce or you introduce the title. I'll read the purpose and then give the control back to you, Toastmaster. The purpose of the project is for the member to identify his or her primary leadership styles. Purpose of the speech to share some aspect of his or her leadership style or discuss the leadership styles in general. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you. I will now introduce the speaker, Patrick Guilfoyle. Patrick shares with us from very early on in life, he's enjoyed serving others. And when he was in middle school, he used to shove driveways of elderly neighbors for free. He was a volunteer at the hospital geriatric ward. In the university, he was on the student council. In 1994, he volunteered at St. Francis Table, serving meals to the homeless. Jump forward from 2012 to 2020, he created 3 Toastmasters Club. He was an area director for District 93. He was a chief judge and achieved 3, check it out guys, 3 Distinguished Toastmasters Awards. Patrick will be a servant leader until his last breath. Impressive resume, Patrick. Applause to you. Patrick's speech. I'm a servant leader. What is your leadership style? I'm a servant leader. What is your leadership style? 5 to 7 minutes. Over to you, Patrick.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster. Actually, I changed my title. I think it's more appropriate that I changed my title because in retrospect, looking at my situation, I don't think that I have achieved the level of leadership that I'm comfortable with yet. So my revised title is My Road to Servant Leadership.
Okay, give me a minute. Let me make sure that the timer hasn't started. So now you can begin your speech. Give me a minute. We'll just reset the time for you.
You're generous. Thank you.
Fiona, can you reset the timer, please? Okay, wonderful. You're good to go. Go ahead.
Bosses push. Leaders pull. Real leadership is servant leadership. Dave Ramsey, personal money management expert and American national radio personality. Who are our bosses in life? We have many different kinds of bosses. I'm sure you would agree that they are our parents, our first bosses. Maybe our religious leaders in our community, community volunteers, politicians, maybe unfortunately, business owners, and teachers, certainly. Have all your bosses been good leaders? More than likely not. I'm sure some of them might even have been narcissistic. I hope you didn't experience such leaders. Fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests, most of us will willingly or unwillingly be put in positions of leadership. The thing is, it isn't easy to persuade others to do what we want them to do. At the same time, having them think that they are doing what they want to do. This is the art of persuasion. It's very challenging. I want to make a confession to you. maybe you might be surprised. I might be a little apprehensive to admit this. I was a little surprised after taking the Discover Your Leadership Style survey at the end of this project. The summary of my leadership style can be summed up, can you guess, as bureaucratic. Bureaucratic leaders stringently establish and enforce rules. Their decisions are absolute and demand immediate compliance. Such a leader motivates by discipline and demands immediate compliance. A bureaucratic leader engages in top-down interactions. This style of leadership is usually not effective when trying to lead highly skilled individuals, as they often become resentful of micromanagement. Now, I'm not saying that I'm a micromanager. At times, I can be. But overall, I wouldn't say that is not who I am. The bureaucratic style of leadership is most effective when a decision has to be made in a short amount of time. So like crisis management. Am I a good crisis manager? I think I do work well under pressure. I'm still convinced that I am a servant leader, though one who can be bureaucratic at times. I want to relate two personal short stories that show how servant leadership and bureaucratic leadership are not really the best of friends. Let's go back years ago when I was a child, back in elementary school, in fact. I was in Cub Scouts. I always remember when I was a Sixer. A Sixer is a Cub Scout group leader. I was responsible for a group of 6 Cub Scouts. I remember we were collecting pennies for the Children's Wish Foundation. The group that collected the most pennies would get a plaque of recognition. I really wanted that plaque. Being the bureaucratic person that I was, can you imagine how I tried leading my group? I continuously reminded them, bring in your pennies, bring in your pennies, bring in your pennies. Unfortunately, we didn't get the plaque of recognition, but we came in a pretty close second place. Now, let's jump forward years later when I helped myself and Mr. Jung Yoon Shik in Busan, South Korea, created Korea Carpe Diem Toastmasters Club in 2014. The first year was our most challenging year. Although our club had every officer's position filled, I became impatient with my officers, especially the VP of Education. I wanted all the roles filled for every meeting. Can you guess how I responded? If you were to say arm twisting was an Olympic sport, I probably got a gold medal. I liken my arm twisting to a father encouraging his children to do their best. Well, no, don't worry. I didn't twist my children's arms. Guess what? We became distinguished club in our first year. I am a man of many colors. People recognize that I put my heart into my work. They realize that I'm a hard worker and that I try to help others. However, I recognize that my main weaknesses are impatience and comparing others to myself. I'm starting to realize that every person has their own unique goals and timeline for achieving them. I need to respect everyone's uniqueness and timeline. If you want to be an effective servant leader, do not mix other forms of leadership with servant leadership. Hybrids will simply not work. If you want to be a good servant leader, you should follow these 5 characteristics of good servant leadership. 1, listening. Well, it goes without saying that you have to be a good listener. It's very important. Listen to people. Don't interrupt them. Give them feedback. Self-aware. Know who you are. And think deeply about your emotions, because then you will know other people and you can be empathetic of their needs. 3, stewardship. Stewardship is about taking responsibility for the actions and performance of your team and being accountable for the role team members play. Don't say, oh, it's not my problem. Oh, it's that person's fault. Don't blame others. Accept responsibility as a leader and help support your team members. 4, commitment to growth of people. Servant leaders are committed to the personal and professional development of everyone on their team. It's like a teacher, I suppose, in some ways, and I am a teacher. And if one of my students comes to me and says, oh, teacher, can you help me? And I say, oh, no, I'm busy, I'm sorry, I can't. I have failed as a teacher. If you do this as a leader, you have definitely failed as well. 5, building community. Everyone needs to feel important and that they belong to a community. Provide opportunities for people to interact with each other socially and professionally. If you are a bureaucratic leader, try to loosen up. Open up your collar on your shirt, loosen up, and get to know your team members at their level. Support them. They will respect you for doing so in the long run. Thank you very much, fellow Toastmasters. I turn control back to our Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Patrick. Wow, definitely many nuggets of knowledge to learn from Patrick. To be a servant leadership, you need to listen, you need to take responsibility, you need to develop people, and you need to build your team. Sounds a little bit like Toastmasters, isn't it? That is where we build servant leaders here. And the servant leaders need to work too, you know, not just give instructions. Well, hang on tight. I have been reminded that a break is long deserving, but we have a very special speaker coming up right now. And after you've been amused by our next speaker, then we'll all take a 10-minute break. Our next speaker is advanced communication bronze, advanced leader bronze, and strategic relations 1, Alicia Chia. I will now invite the project evaluator to read out her objectives, her project objectives. The project evaluator is Todd. Our project evaluator is Todd Gatian. Todd, are you in the room, Todd?
Yes, I am.
Oh, there you are. Oh, you're staring right at me.
Sorry about that. I'm just bringing up my screen. There you go. Thank you.
Thank you.
And
thank you so much for taking on the challenge.
my pleasure. My pleasure. That's what Toastmasters do. We step up.
Thank you. We appreciate that. Would you like to go ahead and read out the project objectives?
I'm just looking
for speech. Do you have it with you?
I just got the manual. I'm just looking for which project in the manual it is.
She will be doing humorously speaking level 2. Leave them with a smile.
Oh, I'm looking at a manual that said humorously speaking from the old system that came in. Okay, so I'm going to say that our speaker needs to make us smile. So guess what I'm going to be doing? I'm going to be looking at all of your pretty faces. So please turn your cameras on so we can take a look at faces and see if we can see an ear-to-ear grin while our speaker is entertaining us with a humorous speech. The time, I imagine, would be a 5 to 7 minute presentation. Madam Toastmaster, is that correct?
That's correct.
And I don't have the title either.
I'll be reading out the title.
Perfect. Then I'll let you do that.
Thank you, sir. Let me pin the speaker.
Where is she?
I've just pinned her. Do you all see her? She should be right in front. Yes, you have first row seats. Our speaker, she wants to share with us how she stayed home and entertained herself during the COVID-19 circuit breaker in Singapore. The Ironies of Life. Her title, Stay Home, Stay Connected, and Stay Entertained. Stay home, stay connected, and stay entertained. Over to you, Alicia.
Thank you. Hold on a minute. Let me look for the timer. She just disappeared. Okay.
Okay, she's back. She's back. Fiona, would you like to refresh the timing device, please? Thank you.
The lights suddenly blacked off. Ladies and gentlemen, do not panic because that is the Singapore circuit breaker in action. We are all in the same boat. But let me light your home wherever you are with my stay home tales since April 1st. Ever since the launch of the circuit breaker, our daily routines have changed. And this is what happened to my family. Food. Dad asked my mom, what are we eating tonight? Mom will say, yes, I'm sick of cooking. I don't know what to cook. And I join in like Peter Pan. Can we have Korean fried chicken? And so we have home cooked fried chicken. Dad also volunteers to cook. He will go all the way to the traditional wet market and buy the ingredients for cooking. To date, he has cooked his signature dishes, like his juicy steak, and even ventured to uncharted territories, chili crab, with instructions from Mom. Now, how do I get all this good food, which you seldom get it, only on special occasion, but we keep getting all this good food one after another? I simply applied the biblical saying, believe and pray. Knock and it will open. Pray, praise and receive. Whenever there's good food, out comes the handphone and paparazzi to take the photos of Chef Patrick's dishes. So when that goes out in the afternoon, it's usually to the luckiest Singapore Pools outlet, Singapore version where you can buy your Lucky Strike. We call it 4D or lottery in Singapore. But now, because of the circuit breaker, all Singapore Pools outlets are closed. And so, Dad can't go to Singapore Pools outlet anymore. Instead, he goes and comes back with a bag of goodies. So I peered into his bag. But I will ask him, hey Dad, what's in your bag? And Dad gives me a sheepish look. He says, he doesn't answer me, just keep quiet. And I peer into his bag. And inside his bag, there are cookies, bread, tidbits, snacks. Yum, yum. So, well, this is much better than him spending his time surfing, looking at Facebook, and reading all that nonsense news about COVID-19. Most of the time is fake news. And he has no discernment of conspiracy theories, news, propaganda, and outright crazy things. Now, besides food, other activity that I spend most of my time is online. Shopping, grabbing all the good deals from beer to household goodies for my new home. There's also online videos chatting. I did not know there were so many things to gossip. Online streaming. I even attempted to be more cultured while watching, guess what? online streaming of Andrew Lloyd Webber's Phantom of the Opera with a bag of potato chips. And like yoga bear here. I tried yoga, but couldn't make it. I couldn't concentrate. So I tried Tabata, high intensive impact training, exercise through Zoom. The reason I continued exercising was because there were so many Korean hot bots there. Cheers to that. Now, the other thing that happened during our time was hygiene. Sometimes the conversation will change whenever I go out. I remember Mom used to say, don't forget to switch off the lights and fan. But now she will say to me, don't forget to wear your mask. When I'm back, she normally tell me why I come home so late. And don't forget to switch off the lights and fan again. This time, when I step into home, she will tell me, quick, go and have your shower. And I will cheekily say, okay, I'll quickly go and also wash my private parts, my mouth and my nose as well. So whenever we talk about the state of the economy, the price of masks will come out. And how the price of masks fell drastically and suddenly, that goes into the room. And then he takes out 4 boxes of masks. So if he uses it sparingly, he can actually use it for 3 months or even 4 months. Now, the other thing we need to do during COVID-19 is to maintain saneness. You know, we are all trying to keep our sanity when I overhear the pillow talk between my mom and dad. Mom tells dad, the bank is closed today due to Vesak holiday. And dad says, every day is Vesak holiday. Then he goes on to say, as a matter of fact, every day is Christmas Day. Now, we are all in the same boat. Let me share some pictures of my pre-COVID-19, pre-circuit breaker, and now the circuit breaker pictures. Give me a minute. Can I show it? Sorry, the host has disabled my sharing. But anyway, we are all in the same boat. Before the circuit breaker, my hair was neat and tidy. Now with the circuit breaker, my hair is so messy, I need to wear a cap. And we are not designed to stay at home all day. We either go crazy or make the most of our temporary situation to connect with our loved ones, friends, pets. As the circuit COVID-19 will soon be over and life will never be the same. Back to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you, Alicia. Did you all get a good laugh? Yes? So another round of applause for Alicia. Thank you, everyone. Now the long-awaited break time. I'm so sorry. I was in such a hurry to showcase our speakers. I forgot about the break. So let's take a breather for 10 minutes. We will adjourn back here at this room at 10:45. The time now is 10:25. Oh, sorry, we'll take a 10-minute break. We will adjourn back here at 10:35. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you soon. The speakers and the evaluators, the remaining speakers and evaluators, would you please come over and say hi to me? I need to make sure that you're in the room before we begin our second segment. Okay, thank you, Julie. I see you. Thank you and welcome back, everyone. My, what an exciting evening. We are surging on with the second segment of the speeches, the prepared speeches, and the highly anticipated speaker with us this evening, Navin Giri, Dynamic Leadership Level 5. I would like to invite the project evaluator, Julie. She's been waiting the whole evening very patiently, very prettily. Thank you, Julie, for your kind patience. I'll unmute you. I would like to invite Julie once again to read out Navin's speech project objectives. Go ahead, Julie.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmasters of the day. The purpose of this project is for Navin to clearly define how Toastmasters envision mentoring. The purpose of your speech is for you to share some aspects of your previous experience as a protege. Your timing sequence, Navin, is 5 to 7 minutes, and all the best to you.
Thank you, Julie.
Thank you, Julie. How are you doing, Navin?
All right, I guess.
Okay, good, good. We've all been waiting for you. Okay, you are going to engage us with your humor. And
I hope so.
yes, so you want to share with us this famous quote from your guru. He says, "Do not take life too seriously. You will never get out of it alive." By your guru, Majesty Baba O'Reilly.
Yes, that's right.
Your speech, 5 to 7 minutes. The title of your speech, Are You Mental or Are You a Mentor? Are you mental or are you a mentor? Over to you, Navin.
Thank you, Toastmasters of the day, Margaret. Baba O'Reilly is the name of a song, actually, by The Who. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests and everyone here. The title of my speech is, Are You Mental or Are You a Mentor? So, when you are ready, the teacher will come. I've always heard that when you are ready, the teacher will come. You know, in Toastmasters, when we join Toastmasters, they'll assign a mentor to us. That's the usual thing they'll do. When I came into Toastmasters, I came in halfway through, not during the term. So I didn't have a mentor. And moving on, I had to tap onto the collective knowledge of the people around me. That was how my mentoring came about. It was quite unexpected because I am an extroverted introvert. A dichotomy, a contradiction, a walking contradiction. So it was hard for me to keep with one mentor. And the most unexpected place I found my mentors were, of all places, in books. The collective wisdom of books. Mostly non-fiction books. Two books in particular, and how it impacted my life. One of the books is called Extreme Ownership by Jocko Williams. I don't know whether you heard of him or you have come across this character. He's quite famous. If you follow me on Facebook, you will see that I usually plug him a lot of times. I usually advertise him. his background was he was an ex-Navy SEAL from the US Army. And now he's a business consultant. So the book was about his time in Iraq during the Iraq War, when there was an accident that happened under his leadership. Rather than assigning blame to the people around him and pointing fingers, he took the blame himself. He took it upon himself and said, yes, it was all my fault. And when he did that, it was a burden lifted. Surprisingly to him, as he said this, the burden of the incident was lifted from him. And people took him at his word, and people respected him, because compared to other officers who would easily point their finger and say, hey, you know what, it's this person's fault. Oh, it's not my fault. He took it upon himself. He took the blame. And his seniors, instead of charging him, they respected him and they gave him more responsibilities. And even his men supported him. The thing I learned from this is that when you take ownership of your responsibility, it may not be fair, it may not be easy, but it is enlightening, it is empowering. You become a freer person, meaning that things are not out of your control, they're in control, they're in your control. You can get control of it and change the situation, starting with yourself. That is the beauty of it. And yes, and I use this in my life. I try to use this in my life as much as possible. But as you know, trying to implement something like that is really difficult. Because it's easy for us to point a finger at other people and assign blame rather than take charge of our lives and step up. This happened to me a couple of weeks back as well, after reading the book Extreme Ownership. There was an incident that happened with a customer, and things went out of control. One of my subordinates couldn't handle it, so he passed it off onto me. And I tried to handle it, but it was quite a big customer, and things exploded. It was something to do with the machine not working on site. So he wanted to pull out the contract. He told me I want to terminate this contract. That was quite a large sum of money for the company. So I told my boss, since this has happened, if anything falls, if the sword falls, right, it should fall on me, not my subordinate. And surprise, surprise, my bosses and my managers, they looked at me and they said, Navin, this is a refreshing way of looking at it. Even though this is $1 million thing that we have lost, at least we know that you are a trusted person and we will think twice about letting you go. See, Toastmasters, ladies and gentlemen, taking responsibility for things, which I learned, right? It's not an easy thing. It never is. In fact, when I was in the meeting with my bosses, there were a lot of butterflies in my stomach. There was a lump in my throat. But I told myself, I have to lay down my neck on the chopping block. And when I did that, it was refreshing. And I proceeded to move up in the company into management because people trusted me. Thank you, fellow Toastmasters, for listening and engaging me this evening. Off to you over Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Navin. That was so inspiring. Positivity is a choice. Stepping up and taking responsibility is a mark of servant leadership, as Patrick has shared with us earlier on. And you have certainly proved your salt, proved your weight in salt, and proven to be a very probable and very reliable candidate for the management position. I'd like to congratulate you on that. Keep up the good work, please. Now we've heard from Navin, and we will fast forward to speaker 5. Speaker 5 is Meenakshi Chindabaram. I would like to invite her project evaluator. Her project evaluator is Distinguished Toastmaster Lee Shan Shan. Shan Shan, can I invite you to read out the project, the speech project, the project speech objectives, please.
Okay, the project, hold on, let me just pull it out. Okay, the objectives of this project is to adapt a play for interpretive reading, to portray several characters in one reading, identifying them to the audience through voice changes and movements. Timing is 12 to 15 minutes.
Thank you, Shan Shan. Now, interpretive reading is one of my favorite. It's also one of, in my opinion, one of the most complex manual to do. The timing sequence is 12 to 15 minutes. Manishi, how would you like to be signaled?
12 green.
Yes.
Okay, 13.5 is yellow and 15 is red.
Okay, noted on that. Viona, can you take note of that, please? On the 12th minute, flash the green card. 13 minutes and 30 seconds, flash the yellow card. And on the 15 minute, flash the red card. And we'll keep it there until 15 minutes and 30 seconds, and then she will flash it back to the green card. That's a signal that you have gone over time. Would that be fine?
Yeah.
Manishi? Okay, wonderful. Meena is a dynamic speaker with passion towards cooking. Wow. Singaporeans' favorite pastime. The eating part, not the cooking part. She always performs to the best of her abilities and believes that if you do your duty sincerely, the reward is assured. The title of her speech is A Witty Tale. A Witty Tale. Over to you, Meenakshi.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. A quick check. So can everybody hear me well and see me?
Yes.
Thank you.
All to the waist level.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Today, I'm going to perform a play. Stories are really interesting to kids, adults, or professionals. Everybody wants to listen to stories. When you enact the story, it adds more interest and brings audience into it. Today, there is a challenge in front of me. Enact a play with voice modulation. After seeing the objective, I was wondering what should I do? Which character should I try to enact? Which play should I take? Should I go all the way to Shakespeare? Or should I try something from the Lord of the Rings? Or should I make my own story and play it in front of you? After going through all the process in my mind and trying to get a story which is suitable for play as well as is a learning for you. The thinking process went in my mind and there was a spark. Yes, two characters blinked in my vision. They were none other than Akbar and Birbal. If you had listened to my previous storytelling manual, I would have told a story from Akbar and Birbal as well. But today, I'm going to enact a tale from Akbar and Birbal. For those who know Akbar and Birbal stories, please stay with me. You're going to hear the witty tale or visualize the enacting of a witty tale. For those who don't know Akbar and Birbal, they are the famous characters from the Indian tales or the kids' tales from India. Akbar is an emperor, a king, and Birbal is his minister and a very loyal minister that Akbar loves. This duo is known for the famous problem-solving cases like Sherlock Holmes. Yes, they are Sherlock Holmes of India. Let's dive deep into the play. The Want of the Lamp. Akbar and Birbal were walking around the palace and the garden. Akbar to Birbal. Birbal, I think it is very cold this winter season. Nobody can withstand this winter. Yes, Majesty, it seems to be very cold. I think our citizens are also having trouble in selling their products. How are our citizens, how is the business going? Birbal, do you know any of these news? Your Majesty, the citizens are still doing their duties just like they did in COVID situation. You know, there are vendors very early in the morning selling vegetables. Wow, that is interesting. But Birbal, are you sure there is vendors right in the morning? Yes, Your Majesty. I saw vendors right in the morning, shaking in the winter, putting on their jackets, but selling vegetables like they are doing their hard work and duty sincerely, Your Majesty. But Birbal, I challenge you. This lake is the coldest part of our country. Nobody can withstand the coldness of this water. But Majesty, you shouldn't deny that our citizens are really hardworking and willpower. If I can find you one person who can withstand the cold of this lake water, then can you find someone like that who can stay all over the night in this cold water? Yes, Your Majesty. If I find, then okay, Birbal. If you find and if the man can stand the cold the entire night, I would reward him 1,000 gold coins. All right, Majesty. Scene 2. Birbal. I should find someone to challenge the Majesty and make the citizen win 1,000 coins. Let me check out. Oh, that old man. He seems to be very poor. If he gets the 1,000 coins, it will be very helpful for him. Old man, stop. Yes, Birbal, what can I do for you? Old man, what are you doing? I'm a vegetable vendor. I need money for my daughter's wedding. So I'm selling these vegetables very hardly to earn money. Old man, don't worry. I'm going to give you a solution. If you can stand in the cold water of the lake near the palace, the Majesty will give you 1,000 gold coins. Oh, people, thank you, thank you. I will try my best. I need the coins, please. Scene 3. The old man ready to get up to this level into the lake water, shivering all the night. Akbar, guards, keep an eye on this old man. You should watch him the whole night. He shouldn't use any sort of fire or heat up materials to be warm into the water. He should be doing his duty sincerely, taking the challenge sincerely. The old man. Oh. Scene 4. In the courtyard. Majesty, I stayed in the water the whole night. Did you really stay in the water the whole night? The freezing water? Yes, Your Majesty. I stayed in this cold water the whole night. How did you manage to do it? It is minus degrees. It is like never, nobody can stay. How did you do it? Majesty, I saw the palace lamp lit there, hoping that the warmth would reach me one day or at any time. Was hoping that. Aha! So, this old man saw the palace lamp. The warmth of the palace lamp made him stay in the water throughout the night. You are disqualified, old man. You will not get 1,000 points. Scene 5. People was thinking about it. Oh no, this is an injustice done to this old man. The Majesty has done an injustice and his judgment is not right. I should do something. He was thinking. Then, people came up with this pot. People sat down with the pot, doing like this, with a spoon. There came Akbar. People, what are you doing? Majesty, I'm cooking my porridge. People, but it doesn't seem to be cooking at all. Majesty, can you see I put all the ingredients in it? I put rice, I put water, everything is there, Majesty. People, but there is no fire. Majesty, can you see the lamp at the corner? I'm cooking with the warmth of the lamp. People, your porridge will never cook. The warmth of the lamp can never reach the spot. It will never make the khichdi or the porridge. Majesty, I learned the lesson. I talked like that for the whole time, but I learned the lesson today. The old man taught me the lesson. With the warmth of the lamp at the corner, if he can stay inside the water for the whole night, then why can't I cook the porridge with the warmth of the lamp? I am going to try. Right, people. You are right. I did the injustice. But, as Your Majesty, bring the old man immediately. Scene 6. Yes, Your Majesty, you call me. Old man, I realized my mistake. You deserve the reward. You stayed up in the water throughout the night without losing any warmth. So here you go, the promised reward. Thank you, Majesty. Thank you, Majesty. Doom, doom, dicky, dicky, doom, doom, dicky, dicky. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is a famous story with a moral. Can anyone guess the moral of the story? It's okay, I will let you know. The moral of the story is, don't underestimate anybody's hard work. Please do pay attention to them and do reward what is reserved for them. These Akbar and Birbal stories are for kids, but nevertheless, it is not to be kept away from the adults, because these stories they require reinvention. Because what we learned as a kid is not what we follow today. We are trying to adjust ourselves to situations, but never forget the stories that you learned as a kid are those stories that are going to make you lead your life. So don't forget the motives and the mottos of the stories from your childhood. Do repatriate these stories to your kids and kind of enact these to your surroundings so that they get interested in it. Akbar and Birbal are just two characters that I came up with today. But there are enormous such stories, Jakarta stories, Tenali Raman, or the Sherlock Holmes, how they solve the cases. Like they have been made into plays and they have been made into episodes you can watch online. So these are things that you have to introduce to your kids, maybe based on their age. But don't forget, these are the stories that you're going to give your children a life lesson. They will know what is right and what is difficult. With that, back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Manishi. That was a very colorful display of your vocal varieties and so many nuggets of gold there. Those stories that your parents used to tell us, or our parents used to tell us when we were kids, those shape our lives as adults. So remember, tell them things that you want them to learn about life, to be applied in life later on. Like the 3 little pigs. All right, let's move on to the next speaker. Our next speaker is Pallavi Singh. I would like to invite her evaluator to read out her project objectives. The evaluator is Vivek Gupta. Thank you for stepping up, Vivek. Do you have the project evaluator, project speech objectives?
Yes, I have.
Would you like to read it out for us, please?
Yes. Hello? Am I
Yes,
audible?
we can hear you, yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Marco, for inviting me here and giving the chance to share this skin of mine and interact with all over the world's Toastmaster and enjoy their speeches and the evaluations. So that is the great platform that I am also learning from you people. So today, Pallavi Singh is giving her special occasion speech on the assignment 4. She is actually presenting an award. Her objectives are to present an award with dignity and grace, and they acknowledge the contribution of the recipients. We usually face the problems in our life that either we receive the award or we give the award. So they are the challenges for what we have to say and what are the words we used at the time of delivering this speech while we receiving or giving the awards. So here the chance that we have to learn from Pallavi Singh to understand what we say at that time and get the attention of the audience at that moment. So best of luck, Pallavi Singh, and over to the Toastmaster of the Maglo. Thank you.
Thank you, Vivek. We are in a room full of Toastmasters, and there are collectively much wisdom in this room. Somebody has recommended that having heard the speakers, if you have any input for the respective speakers, go ahead and drop them a line. And I would like to ask all the speakers, if you like feedback from the audience in this room, use the chat at the bottom of your device and input your email address. Put your name followed by your email address, and the audience can then give their input to you as they listen to you. So go ahead and do all that. And now I'd like to introduce Pallavi Singh. Pallavi will be delivering a special occasion speech, level 4, and she says this about herself. In her consistent journey in Toastmasters, she understands the amount of commitment, persistence, and resilience that's required to accomplish anything in the voyage of life. Today, Pallavi is going to present an award for the consistent performer. Please join your hands together and welcome Pallavi. She will do the honors. For her speech, she has 3 to 4 minutes. On the 4th minute, the green light will be shown. 3 to 4 minutes. On the 3rd minute, the green light will be shown. On the 3 minutes, 30-second mark, the yellow light will be shown. On the 4th minute, the red light will be shown. And then at 4 minutes, 30 seconds, it will switch back to the green light. The title of her speech is The Consistent Performer Award. Over to you, Pallavi.
Thank you so much, Margaret. The only way you see results is if you stay consistent. Good evening, Toastmasters, distinguished Toastmasters, and dear guests from across the world. I welcome you all to a supremely splendid, star-studded award night. Toastmaster International is a voluntary organization owned and run by individuals from across the world. And these individuals are Toastmasters. Toastmasters are the flag bearers of superior leadership skills and master of communication with equal grace and consistent efforts. Here in Toastmasters, we firmly believe in creating a mutually supportive club environment for every member to foster growth in leadership as well as communication skills. In this endeavor, we achieve growth and success not only for ourselves, but for everyone in the club. And we grow as a community in a holistic way. The success of any club depends on its members and their consistent, persistent, and resilient efforts to create a milestone, to accolade and honor the unswerving, unfailing, and undeviating commitment. Today, I would be presenting the Consistent Performer Award in our club. Now, what actually is a Consistent Performer Award, and why is it being awarded to this particular person? The Consistent Performer Award is given to a club member who is very supportive to the entire club. Now, if we talk about this particular member, I think no one would deny about his supportive role in any way you may ask from, be it any hour of the day. He knows when to feed and when to fish with his support. And he has immense developed leadership and communication qualities. Many a times it is to acknowledge your own limitations, and then the world is there to bejewel you with that particular limitation as your power. And this man has really shown it up. If we talk about his personal growth, I met this person last year in the month of July at his club installation. And I was really mesmerized by his president's inaugural speech. One after another, he was coming up with his achievements. And at that particular moment, I realized that yes, this man is a man of numbers. He is a man of statistics. He is a man of data. And this all can happen only if you have a vision like eagle and a foresight and a plan to execute at each and every step. And not only with his personal growth, this particular person has acquired growth for his clubs wherever he has been. So who is the winner tonight? As I mentioned, this person has an excellent foresight. He probably plans 6 months in advance or a year in advance, and he has a well chalked up plan which is executed one after another with great persistence. And the best thing is he leads by example, by constant reminders to organize ourselves in a very persistent and resilient way. He is a truly dedicated and committed member, truly signifying of the club, by the club, and for the club. He firmly believes in the opportunities for tomorrow to remain silent at the right time and to work ahead with a foresight. And ladies and gentlemen, here I declare the winner of the Consistent Award, our club president, Willie Lowe. Willie, on the entire club's behalf, please accept this Consistent Performer Award for your outstanding achievement for the club in achieving in less than 6 months' time the Distinguished Club Award and many more glories. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pallavi. Yes, well-deserved award indeed. And our club president never sleeps. That's his secret. That's why he's able to accomplish so much. He sends texts at 3 o'clock in the morning, Singapore time. So that's a very hardworking club president as well. Thank you, Pallavi. Okay, once again, if you like your feedback to be given to you by the audience in this room, go ahead and key in your email addresses in the common chat group. Put your name there, followed by your email. Thank you. I'll now move on to the 7th speaker for the evening. The 7th speaker is Vikarna Chudri. And your evaluator is Stephanie's PG from British Columbia, Canada. Hi, Stephanie. Ah, there you are. I'll unmute you. Oh. Okay, there we go. Stephanie, I would like to invite you to read out the speech objective. Do you have that with you?
Yes. Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, the objectives of our next speaker are to use exaggeration to tell a humorous story, to entertain the audience, to effectively use body language and voice to enhance the story. The speech project is project number 5 in Pathways, the Humor-Rich Speech.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Before I start speaking, I just need to clarify, this is actually not from Pathways, but it is of the traditional manual. So it's not from Pathways.
Thank you, Vikaran.
And hopefully that served as a mic check as well. Two birds killed in one stone.
Okay. Okay, Vikran, you've tickled us even before you started. Your speech will be from 5 to 7 minutes to complete your speech. This is about your school days in boarding school. The age of the boys that was between 12 to 13 when this happened. And it's one of the many hilarious situations that you found yourself in. So please share with us. The title of your speech is Watch Out for the Fruit. Watch out for the fruit. Vikarna Chudri. Over to you, Vikara.
Madam, evening. What I wanted to say is, can I just have you unmute a couple of people? Can you unmute Dennis so that being a hilarious speech, I want to make sure that I am getting some sort of a feedback.
Okay, can we unmute everybody then? Would that be all right with you?
No, not everybody. I just a couple of people. Otherwise, it'll just be too much.
Okay, Would those people in the audience, can you unmute yourselves?
No. So I need Dennis, and if Angela is still on, if you can unmute 2 people, that's all I'll need.
Just to Angela Lansbury. Are you referring to Angela Lansbury?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, Angela is unmuted. And Dennis, where is Dennis? Dennis Ham. Okay, sure. Great, you're good to go. Over to you.
If you saw me like this, you would be wondering a couple of things. 1, am I being extra cautious about COVID? 2, am I trying to hide my face? Or 3, could I just be a doctor who's covering up his face? One of these is the right answer. You will get to know in a couple of minutes. Good evening, or good day, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I'm going to be sharing a humorous story which the title is Watch Out for the Fruit. Brawny Billy, Sleepy Sam, and Ringmaster Ronaldo. The 3 of us were in a boarding school together in the foothills of the Himalayas. We used to have lots and lots of fruit trees on our campus. We used to have guava trees. We used to have mango trees. And we used to have lychee trees as well. It's a round fruit, red in color, for some of you who may not know it. Each of these fruits used to go through different seasons. Lychee usually got ripe right around the end of May. That was the same time period when our school semester used to be let out. The 3 of us, Brawny Billy, Sleepy Sam, and Ronaldo, the ringmaster, decided one day that we were going to be plucking fruit. We were always told, don't do what you're not supposed to do. So in other words, don't go plucking the fruit. But being 12 and 13-year-old children, a lot of times we didn't listen. Most of these plans were always told for our good, because we could get hurt climbing up trees. So I decided, hey, we should go pluck the fruit tonight. So the 3 of us had already done this before, so it wasn't anything new for us. So the plan was hatched that the 3 of us would go tonight to pluck some fruit. Our lights out time used to be 9:30 at night, which was rather early. But we couldn't go plucking fruit at 9:30 because for sure we would get caught. There were just too many people around. So we decided we would go to sleep and then wake up a little bit later on. We go off to sleep. I get woken up. Wake up, Vikaran. Wake up, wake up. I look up. It's Brawny Billy. It's 11:40 at night. We need to go pluck the fruit. I say, go wake up Sam. I throw my covers off and get up. He's shaking Sam. Sam like shake him harder. Sleepy Sam does not want to wake up at all. So I tell Billy, go get some water from the bathroom. In the meanwhile, the other roommates have woken up and they're also in cahoots with us. They're going to be the lookout people while we pluck the fruit. While he's coming back, somebody suggests, hey, instead of putting water on his face, throw it onto his crotch. I'm like, no, don't do that. They're like, no, do it. Sure enough, Billy throws water onto Sam's crotch. Sam wakes up. Oh, what? Not again. I'll beat my ass again. We couldn't stop laughing. We were all rolling in fits of laughter. Well, we told Sam the joke. It's only water. Don't worry, you didn't pee in your bed again. We quickly run out of the room, get onto the bicycle. I'm pedaling with the 2 of them behind me, one sitting, one standing. It's a moonless night. We are thankful for that. There's cloud cover, there's not too many stars. Thank God that the campus is not too brightly lit. We're looking out for the watchmen who patrol the various areas. They walk around with these sticks and they hit us if they catch us. Not only are we looking out for the campus watchmen, we are also looking out for the people who got the trees. I look around. I'm like, it can't be our lucky days. There's not a soul around. I look and I see somebody sleeping 50 feet away. I turn to Billy and Sam and say, hey, this guy is out. His noisemaker is going off. And what I mean by the noisemaker, I mean, I'm like, he's out. Get onto the bike, climb up, and start breaking the fruit. They climb up, start plucking the fruit and throwing it down. The other people who are on the lookout start getting closer so that they can start gathering the fruit. All of us are starting to get excited. Oh, look at all that fruit. Look at all that red stuff. I scream out, hey, Billy, get that one. Somebody screams out, Sam, don't forget that one either. Our soft voices have suddenly started screaming. Next thing we know is that the watchman suddenly wakes up, you boys! His eyes are glowing and popping out of his head. He said, you better get away from the tree. He jumps out of his bed. I look up to Billy and say, hey, you start coming down. He starts running towards us, but he trips on some of his bedding and falls straight down. That just buys us some extra time. Billy comes down, I help him onto the bicycle. He gets down and starts picking up the fruit. Sam is still coming. I look up on Sam. Sam, you better hurry. He's coming. Jump if you have to. I'm holding the bicycle. Sam decides to jump, but he has misjudged his trajectory. His foot hits my head. I teeter a bit and I fall down. Sam, after hitting my head, he lands on the center bar of the cycle frame, squashing his lychee fruits and squeezing down and saying, ouch, ouch. I quickly get up, grab the bicycle from in between his legs and run towards the watchman who's coming towards us. He must be still like 20 feet away. I throw the bicycle in his path. He trips over that. I run back, gather some fruit, gather Sam, who's still hobbling along, and we run back to our room. We all get back to the room and we burst out laughing. Sam is still howling, ouch, ouch. Now always remember, don't do what you're not supposed to do. Even to this day, some of us still recall when we see Sam about that fateful night. And when we see him, we start walking with our legs closed and start saying, ouch, ouch. Back to you, madam.
Wow, that was a wet, wild, and a very painful childhood that your friend had. I feel for him. Thank you, Bakaran. We're so privileged to have so many humorous speeches this evening. And moving along, something on a more serious note. Our next speaker, Doreen Neo, she'll be doing another speech also from the advanced manual in the older Toastmasters International manuals. I'd like to invite the project evaluator, Angela Lansbury, to read out the speech objectives. Angela, please.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
It's my pleasure to be the evaluator of Doreen's project, and the purpose of this presentation is for the speaker to deliver a short 3 to 5 minutes briefing to either explain, instruct, persuade, or report. And the goal of the briefing is the effective communication of information to accomplish specific objectives. The speaker may use visual aids, which I think she will do, and afterwards there is a 2 to 3 minute question and answer session. I don't know whether you'll get a chance to speak. I have a feeling she's got her eye on somebody already, but we will see. Let's look forward to it. I have the title, but I think perhaps Doreen would like to announce it herself.
Thank you, Angela.
Back to you.
Thank you, Angela. It's okay, Doreen. Take your time.
Yes.
Doreen, you have two segments to your speech.
Yes.
All right. Okay. The first segment is your speech proper. This will last for 3 to 5 minutes. And afterwards, there will be a 2 to 3 minute segment for question and answers.
Yes.
Okay. Timer, Fiona. Can you flash the green card on the 3rd minute of the segment, the first part of the segment? And the yellow card on the 4th minute. The red card on the 5th minute. And it switches back to green after 5 minutes and 30 seconds. Okay. Or for the second segment, there will be a question and answer for 2 to 3 minutes. So on the 2nd minute for the second segment, flash the green card on the 2nd minute, the yellow card on 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and the red card on the 3 minutes. Thank you, Fiona. Please refresh the timer. Thank you. Doreen, you are the Director of Billing Management. You are going to brief the staff on the migration of a current billing system to a new CCB system, their involvement in the parallel run, and eyeball the bill check. So they are doing 2 roles. The title of your speech, Eyeball Bill Check. Eyeball Bill Check. Doreen Neo. Over to you, Doreen.
TMD, there is another portion which you might want to announce it regarding the scene setting. The Q&A.
The scene setting. Give me a minute, please.
Do you?
Oh, okay. Let me read that. Do you want me to announce it now?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you. So this is another title?
No, because the Q&A question is actually directed at the staff of this billing management. So I've actually pre-arranged with a few members among the audience to do the raising of the question. The reason is because this is internal briefing. So it's very difficult to open the FNQ to internationally all of you all here, you see.
Thank you. So let me read out. Yes. So let me read out your introduction. Okay. The setting is the briefing, as Doreen has mentioned. The title is A Job Well Done from the Bottom of My Heart.
I think you got it mixed up. It's not that. No, it's not that. That's all only. A job well done is for the subsequent speech. I think the setting, as what I've mentioned, I think every one of you all is clear. If so, then I can proceed with my speech.
The setting, as I read out just now, is it the one about the billing system?
Correct.
Yes. Okay.
So I just repeat the scene setting. That is to say that this briefing is given to the internal staff. So there is a Q&A, question and answer session whereby it should be targeted at the audience here. I've actually pre-arranged 2 or 3 members from the audience to be members of the billing department to raise such questions, you see. Have I made myself clear?
Yes.
Can we get the response from you, the audience? Okay, thank you. Where's the timer? Okay, I'm ready to go. Good morning, everyone. The purpose of gathering all of you here is to share with you the upcoming events. As you are aware that our CSI system has long-lived its lifespan, we are not able to patch or enhance the system further because of the new technology. So the old system has no choice but to give way to the new system. The good news is that finally we are able to migrate the new CCB system, which took us a full 1 year of developing and testing the customized functionality of the unique billing requirements. We have been working with the sales and the IS team on the migration plan as well as the parallel run to ensure a smooth and error-free cutover, ideally error-free. In this phase, we are only targeting at consumer accounts. What's the reason? Because consumer accounts are less complex than corporate accounts. Now, the migration milestone. First, today, 8 May, at 5 o'clock, the IS team will sweep the database of the CSI system and filter out 3 categories of customers: the new accounts, the existing account, and the historic accounts that is closed less than 3 years ago. These 3 categories account will be migrated to the new CCB system. The next will be the order processing. Order issuance by 5 o'clock today will be stockpiled until further notice. Stockpiles mean it will not be processed in either of the new or old system. Milestone number 2. On the 9th May morning, IS will do the parallel run of the builds from the old CSI system as well as the new CCB system. After which they will upload this builds information into the system called On Demand that is sitting in the IS shared server. At the same time, the IS team will generate a list of all these accounts for the bill checker to do verification. The third phase, that is the most critical part, the bill check. It will start from the 10th May to the 28th May. The UAT team and the billing operation team, that is the testing team and the production team, are called to do the bill checking. And we're using eyeball to do the checking of the CSIO bill and compare it to the CCB new bill. Eyeball checking, yes, it's very labor intensive. Ladies, you have done that before. It shouldn't be a problem, right? Yes, great. Next, during this parallel run, there will be some discrepancy which it cannot be avoided. However, some discrepancy can be expected, such as the order issued today after 5 p.m. will not be processed, as I mentioned earlier, but before 5 p.m. could be processed in the old system, but not processed in the new system. So this may result in some discrepancy between the old and between the 2 bills. However, serious discrepancy have to be investigated and they must be sent to the IS team as well as the sales team. Bill check deadline is very important. On the 28th May, by hook or crook, we have to finish it by then. On the 29th May, billing operation as myself, as well as the director of IS department and sales, we will sit together to make a decision as to those discrepancy, whether they could be resolved within before the cutover. If not, then are they the stopper to the migration of this new system? Ladies, don't look so depressed. We have done that before. Let us embrace this bill check positively. I believe we can do it. Any question from the floor? Now I shall start with the question and answer session. Yes, Alicia?
Yes, I have a question. I noticed that not all UAT staff have access to one demand for production live view. So will this, to facilitate the checking, will they be granted the access?
Alicia, you see, this ISO has stated that there must be a clear segregation of duties. UAT staff, they are only doing testing, whereas the billing operation handles the live bills. However, in this particular project, which is very critical, we have to check the live bill, and only UAT staff are expertise in this area. So of course, we will open this access to them only for that period of checking, after which we will remove the access right from them. Have I answered your question?
Yes.
Thank you. Any more questions from the floor? Any more question? If there's no question, then I will hand over this to the TMD.
Thank you. Thank you, Doreen. Wow, that was intense. Eyeballing, yes, indeed, very labor intensive. It also adds lines to your eyes, doesn't it? So no eyeballing for me, thank you. Right, for the grand finale this evening, we have our final speaker, Adeline Yeo. Adeline, she will be sharing her contest speech with us. Adeline, if you like feedback to your speech, please input your email at the bottom of the chat group so that the audience can give you some recommendations at the end of your speech, and hopefully that will take you forward to the next level. Okay, Adeline, she is about to share with you. Hang on, let me unmute you. Adeline, can you unmute yourself? Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Adeline. Adeline will be evaluated by Distinguished Toastmasters Aaron Leung. Adeline is about to share with you her real story on how her relationship with her husband transformed her after she reflected on it, and it changed herself. The title of your speech is Make Love Easy. And you have 5 to 7 minutes. Make love easy. Adeline Yeo. Over to you, Adeline.
When I just got married, my husband was perfect. We were so passionate in making love work. As the years flew by, passion turns into petty fight. No matter what the fight was about, his response was, "You didn't tell me." Kaboom! I would erupt like a volcano. Instead of making love work, love became work, hard work. Soon, our conversations became instructions, my instructions to him. Then, instructions became missions, I expect my husband to take his missions very, very seriously. One of his many missions was to send our 5-year-old daughter, Chloe, to her piano class. One day after the class, I asked my husband, "Did you ask the teacher Chloe has any homework?" He replied, "You didn't tell me. How would I know?" After he failed too many of his missions, I downgraded his missions to just read bedtime stories to Chloe. Yes, he did. A long, long time ago, there was a and Chloe fell asleep from boredom. I expected him to use his vocal variety and facial expressions just like us Toastmasters. I was so upset I turned into an evaluator. Here are some points for your improvement. You know the difference between reading, reciting, and rambling? You need to have more energy, enthusiasm, expressions, emotions. You didn't tell me. How will I know? He replied and just walked past me, switched on the TV to watch football. I stood in front of the TV. Are you so unwilling to do this simple task? I work, I cook, I clean. Why won't you help me? Why is our love so hard? There was total silence in the room. After a long pause, he spoke up. I tried, but no matter how hard I tried, I am not good enough. I can never meet your expectations. His words were sharp like needles, piercing my heart. I was speechless. Just then, Chloe came out of her room. She turned to her father and said, "Papa, why are you not smiling? Mama, why are you sad? Chloe wants Papa and Mama happy. Come, Mama, give me your hand. Papa, let's go. Papa, be sorry to me, quick." That night, the three of us cuddled and slept on Chloe's tiny little bed. Both of them were sound asleep, with smiles on their faces. I couldn't sleep. I realized all these years, it has always been my wishes, my instructions, my expectations. I talk, he listens. I instruct, he executes. I give him the mop, he gives it to my helper. I expect him to give in to all my ways, but whatever he did, it was never good enough for me. I have made love hard for him. I have made love hard for myself. My friends, have you ever made love hard for yourself and your loved ones? Have you ever made expectations impossible to meet? That night, I decided to prioritize my appreciation over my mission. The next morning, as I woke up, I smelled something burning. "Fire! Fire!" I shouted. There he was, my husband, standing right in front, holding a plate close to my face. Darling, breakfast is ready. The fried egg was ugly. I could see burnt parts and shells on it. It didn't meet my standard. But this was not the mission. There was no instructions. Sometimes making love work can be as easy as making an egg with love, even though the egg might be imperfect. Chloe ran to me and said, Mama, I helped Papa crack the egg. You like? I smiled at Chloe and my husband. With gratitude, I happily gobbled the egg, together with the crunchy shells. That morning, I made love easy. My friends, do you want to make love easy for your loved ones? All these years, my missions have made it hard for myself and my husband. But when we see each other, truly see each other, when we communicate and appreciate each other, we have made love easy. Back to you.
Thank you, Adeline. That was a wonderful tale about your love story. Every speech has its merits, but every speech, there are also room for improvement. And this segment that's coming up is for the evaluator who has been listening intently to all their respective speakers, and they will be sharing with us their recommendations to help the speaker improve and take those recommendations and apply it to the next speech. We will start the evaluation according to the order of the program sheet, which means that Toastmaster Julie Ong will be sharing her evaluation for the first speaker, Navin Giri, as per the program sheet. Julie is a very special lady. Julie is the current president of Linky Advanced Toastmasters Club of Singapore. She joined Toastmasters 2 years ago and has been enjoying her learning experience since. She enjoys music, singing, reading, and having deep conversations with people. Julie is also a lover of nature. She believes that what you are seeking is also what's seeking you. Over to you, Julie.
Thank you, Margaret. Navin, it was very enlightening of what you have shared with us, what is in your heart, and taking ownership and responsibility. That will set you free because it's empowering when you apply this in your life. Now, I'm going to evaluate you based on what you could improve in your speech and my recommendations. I've seen that you have spent about 5.4 minutes telling us the gist of the book, Extreme Ownership, which I felt would be appropriate if shared in a corporate or a secular world. Your project had called for you to define how you envision Toastmasters mentoring and share some aspects of you being a protege. Now, it has always been Toastmasters' tagline where leaders are made. Leadership, mentorship in Toastmasters aspect, we learn it through experiential. It cannot be learned from reading a book or listening to lectures, speeches, or even attending courses. What I would like to share and I would like to recommend to you is we learn from each other as a protege shares with us how you as a protege, how you have improved from beginning of you started your Toastmasters journey to where you are today? What are the lessons and nuggets you picked up and you would want to share with your protege? One of the I's that I would like to look at is not I, but I as in invoke and stimulate your personal growth. Striking a balance of you being a mentor and also a protege. Invoke you to grow further. What are the things that and aspects that you see that invoke you? How you want to impart to your protege. Second I is influence. As a mentor, now you're taking into the shoes of mentor. How would you want to impart that, what you have learned to people you are going to mentor? What are you going to help them with so that they will not make the same kind of blunders that you have made? In summary, your speech shown clarity, good pace, and good storyline. However, I felt the objective, Naveen, has not been met. I felt very sad to say this because I would love for you, I love you because I would love for you to do your project again. And this time, tell us as a protege and as a mentor, what have you learned from Toastmasters? Share with us experiences, your walk in your journey as a Toastmasters. And I would love to be your evaluator again. Back to you, Toastmasters of the day.
Thank you, Julie.
Naveen, if you are seeing this,
Thank you, Julie. That was very insightful evaluation. I was in such a hurry to jump into the evaluation, I forgot to announce the timing for all the speakers. My apologies. Fiona, are you ready with the timing for all the speakers? If you are, please proceed to... Yes, thank you so much. And okay, what you see before you are the voting toll for the best prepared speaker. Go ahead and cast your votes to pick your best speaker, the speaker that has reached out to you, the speaker that has resonated with you, with their lessons and has inspired you to take on the same position as the speaker, that's persuaded you to adopt some of the ideas that the speaker was sharing with us this evening. Thank you. While the polls are going on, which will close shortly, I will move to the next evaluator for this evening. The next evaluator is Dr. Smokies Rahman. Dr. Rahman, he will be evaluating Toastmasters, Distinguished Toastmasters Patrick Guilfoyle. Go ahead, Doctor.
Great. How many of you know how many 3 times DTM in your Toastmaster journey? I haven't seen many. I've seen 2, but not 3. So that is a super excellent accomplishment. We are honored to have Patrick give us a speech on servant leadership. Indeed, it is a servant leadership in Toastmasters that you give your time, your energy, and resources to advance the cause of communication and leadership for 100,000 plus people around the world. Patrick chose a very interesting and important topic in times of change like today in the pandemic. We heard a great speech by Pallavi, another example of a leader who who is doing a great job for this club. I've been here only for a few weeks, but those of you who have been knowing him for some time, within less than 6 months, he has achieved a lot of success. And Patrick, with 3 distinguished Toastmaster title, is a big plus. So Patrick did a lot of good information for us. He explained the leadership styles. He had good voice. He identified with one classic bureaucratic style where you're supposed to park your brain before you walk into the office. You're supposed to just follow orders. If you challenge anything, you are in a democratic or even worse, authoritative society or system. He did very well in terms of explaining sometimes why hybrid systems don't work. It can confuse the people you're trying to lead. If the leader keeps changing, what do we say to them? He's directionless. He doesn't show the consistency or persistence of leadership. Even though it was a short speech, he could have spoken for 3 hours on this topic because he has tons and tons and tons of examples. But being a true to Toastmastering, he gave a short speech but highlighted key elements for us. What can I say to improve? I guess it's the basic Toastmastering, how to give the open body and conclusion some transition with slight pauses. Overall, a great job. Again, I'm honored to speak for your speech, and I'm honored to be in this club. This is a great club. Thank you so much, Mr. Toastmaster, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Dr. Smokish. Thank you for your evaluation. Okay, we have a evaluator that hails all the way from Cork, Ireland. We have Paul O'Mahony. Did I pronounce your name correctly, Paul?
Yes, that's very good pronunciation. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Paul Mahoney lives in Cork, Ireland. He is a proud member of Barney Club. That is the world famous, that's next to the world famous Barney Stone. Paul is a poet, a podcaster who proclaims collaboration is the way to go. And over to you, Paul.
Thank you very much. When I saw the title of this speech, I said to myself, there's a really positive statement. And I said to myself, the title of the speech is really one of the most important things, because as soon as an audience sees the agenda, they decide either to go for coffee or to switch on their mobile phone. But this speech was called It's Not Who You Know, It's Who Knows You. And that might appear significant, but when you look at it on the page and you see who knows you in capital letters, you realize you've just been given a gift. Who knows you? A question. So the audience has been given a positive introduction. Toastmasters, what happened next? A bundle of energy, a bundle of excitement, and a bundle of ease. I'm looking for them. Yes, a woman who was able to give emphatic communication to us. A woman who was able to express her enthusiasm. Well, now there are 4 E's. You have to hook your audience. That's the first thing I commend to everybody. Get your E's working for you. And secondly, get your title right. Let's look at how this speech can be improved a bit. Let's look at what the speaker will give this speech again, we'll say. The big challenge when you're using storytelling is how on earth do you connect with your audience? If you say, this happened to me, this happened to me, this happened to me, the chances are that the audience will look at you at a distance and be very impressed by your performance, but they won't be emotionally moved. They won't go on the journey with you. In this case, if Lee had brought the word we in earlier in the speech, so that she'd been able to say things like, we've all been in this situation. We've all been on a journey. We've all gone into the excitement, and we've all had our self-esteem punctured. I was like that. It happens to us all. That was a way to gather the audience together. So that's the first change or improvement I'd suggest. The second one concerns what some would say is the most important part of the speech, the very end of the speech, when you're giving a call to action. In this case, Lee demonstrated the ability to give 2 calls to action. You might remember her saying, I encourage you all to have SMART objectives. And then she slipped in another one, which is, I encourage you all to have your elevator pitch ready. What I suggest to you, Lee, and to everybody is one call to action works much better. And in my opinion, the call to action that says, when you go networking, be sure you have your elevator pitch ready, that's the better one. Let me come to what I thought was the finest aspect of the speech, the most absolutely thrilling, was the way in which the speech began on a journey. I was going to go out and meet people. She goes out and meets people, and she meets a monster. And she's almost slain by the monster, who stabs her, and she falls down. And she was in between life and death. You could feel it in the, will I just go away meekly and hide? No, she made a choice. The hero rises from the dust. And then later on, we hear about the celebration, the triumph. This wonderful person who is now a leader in Toastmasters. Now that is superb flow. That is superb structure. That shows immense intelligence. That is storytelling at the finest. So let me give you, in terms of pulling it all together, there are a couple of things to change. It's about bringing the audience with you, and secondly, giving them a gift to take away. But above all, that enthusiasm, that use of the right kind of a title, and above all, the ability to tell stories. Very well done. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you for your insightful evaluation. Certainly, there are lots of things we can take back, not only for Lee, but the rest of us as well, to remember to keep the message succinct and to have only 1 or 2 call to action. So that's something that will sit in with the audience. Just one. Yes, sir. Just one, the core message. Thank you. Okay, we have now the evaluator for our 4th speaker. Our 4th speaker was Alicia Chia, and she humored us with her speech, stay home, stay connected, and stay entertained. Our evaluator has been a very, very busy person himself. He hails all the way from Montreal, Canada, and he has been very, very busy. Why I say that? Because he's been visiting clubs all over the world, in total 420 Toastmasters Club, and he has attended 35 Zoom clubs just in the last 1 month. And what drives you, Todd, and sustain you for 23 years as a Toastmasters? We would like to hear from you, Todd. Over to you, Todd.
Thank you very much, Madam Evaluator or General Evaluator, for this meeting. Do you want me to answer those 2 questions before I give the evaluation of Alice, or is those like just food for thought?
Later on, we want to hear the real gist.
Thank you very much then. So in Alice's presentation today, Stay Home, Stay Connected, and Stay Entertained, this was from the humorous manual out of the Legacy program, project number 2, To Leave Them with a Smile. So right off the bat, I want to congratulate Alice on accomplishing that goal, because of the 3 screens that I was able to look at, because many of them had their cameras turned off, people were smiling and laughing. And the biggest cheerleader for Alice was Stephanie Ultima. She was like, hands up, smiling, giggling, and it was very engaging. Now, I say that because there's a difference between being funny and being humorous. Funny would be a comedian who's got a whole bunch of one-liners. In Alice's presentation, what made it succinctly better was there was a couple of take them down a dark alleyway, change it around, and then show them something else. And I thought that she was able to do this both in her words, as she was portraying different characters, her dad, her mom, and different people. She was able to do that with the clothes that she was wearing, and she was wearing a hat. So I got inspired and I put a hat on too, because usually I go to a meeting and people say, take off your hat, it looks unprofessional. I said, hey, this lady digs me, like she likes a hat too. So I wanted to put my hat on in support for her as well. Now, she had a couple of different stories, and this is the one point that I think maybe we might want to diminish or take a couple of them out in order to save time. I do believe the speaker went over time by a couple of seconds. So by reducing a number of stories, you can succinctly tell the message more cohesively. Now, it did say in the beginning of the objectives to make this a speech that had a really good story in the beginning and a really good story at the end. Now, I refer to that as book ending. Basically, you start with a hook or some sort of story, and you end bringing back to that hook at the end. And this is where I think there was a missing piece, and that might have been due to time. It might have been due to technology or lack thereof of not being able to control the screens. But I think that that still left a kind of a funny little laugh at the end, like Murphy's Law stepped up and stuck its foot in your place. But so I would take out 1 or 2 of the stories. That way you would be able to succinctly wrap up towards the end on a big, stronger punch, because you were starting to get into the end at the red card was already up. And I'm thinking, oh no, she's going to bust the time, because you can't close it with a good conclusion fast enough to leave us with an aha high at the end. So those would be my 2 major points. Make sure that the end was stronger, and you would do that by taking 1 or 2 of the stories out during the speech so that that would be enough time. Now that we're doing Zoom meetings, I've actually added 2 extra pieces to my evaluations. I used to do the CDS, content, structure, and delivery. Now I also put in E for energy or enthusiasm or life force that the speaker brings. You had a lot of life force and were really engaging. The F, which I add now, is for face and frame. Your face is very expressive and you're well framed with inside the square. Keep up the great work, and I look forward to hearing another speech from you. And back over to Madam General Evaluator, or Tabletop Master of the Day.
Thank you, Todd.
Did you want me to answer your other 2 questions now?
Oh, yes, please.
So why have I stayed a Toastmaster for so long was, I think, the first question?
Yeah, that was the second question, but go ahead.
Okay, so I've been a member for 23 years. I've helped start 5 clubs in the Montreal area. I've competed in all of the competitions going up all the way to regional level and international. I've won everything in English and French, because our district is District 61, so we have contests in all languages, or those 2 languages. And so I've won the evaluation contest, the table topic contest, the humorous contest, the inspirational ones. I just haven't made it past regionals to go on to international, but I'm having a great time on the run. And the reason I stay around is because as a mentor, I love to see my proteges or mentees take me on at the levels in competition. And sometimes they beat me, sometimes I beat them. And that's what it's all about. It's having fun and enjoying yourself. So I stay because I get to travel around the world and meet lovely people as yourselves. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. It's wonderful to have you, Todd, and we'd love to see you again soon. Come and visit again, please.
A 3-hour meeting, those are rare.
Stamina. You need stamina to hang on there. 3.5 and counting. Okay, we'll move on to our 5th speaker. Our 5th speaker is Manashi. Manashi's speech was evaluated by distinguished Toastmaster Shan Shan.
Right.
Shan Shan, over to you.
Okay. Meenakshi, where are you? Okay, she's not around, no worries. Okay.
She's in the room.
Sign. All right.
Just not sharing video. She's in the room.
Sure, okay. Here we go. Now, for your speech, you have done very well. You met the objectives of it. And you have very distinctive character changes, like you're pacing around left and right, turning sideways and all that. So you have a very good change of characters. Although, that's where my improvements will come in too. Some of the improvements include the voice tone, because in the middle of the speech, I have to switch over to a Bluetooth speaker in order to hear the differences between the tones better, because when I hold it, it wasn't that clear of the tone, because when you talk about the emperor was talking like a very normal tone. So when you talk about the emperor, your tone will be, you should be doing something, as your voice tone will be very high. So you should be like, yes, you must do it. You see the voice tone? And then for the elderly gentleman, try to do it this way. No, I can't, you don't put me in the... Try to put it as a way of that vocal variety, because it sounded the same to me, even though it's two very distinctive characters. So when I put on the headphones, it didn't really come to me that it is two different characters. It sounded like exit is one character, although you're moving here and there. That is where the characters changes happens, and that is the part of the story to tell the difference between the two characters. Next up, I would like you to take note of pauses. Why pauses? One, it assists the audience to digest what you have told. Secondly, it also allows you to relax, pace yourself, and slowly build it up to the climax, because your climax was not that clear, and suddenly your story ended and it became a moral of a story. So try to build it up to a climax, because in every story, there's a plot. You may twist the story, you may have a plot twist, but you need to build it up to the climax. And after the climax, calm down, cool down, and explain the moral of the story. So with all these steps, it's good that you incorporate this, make the voices very distinctive, make the characters even more distinctive with the changes of the voices. So that's about it, and I hope your next speech will be better. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you, Shan Shan. Those are great recommendations, and especially important for interpretive reading. Because we will not be reading, the audience cannot read the same text that you are narrating from, but we will be able to hear you and see you. So that's where vocal variety and body language plays a very important part to illustrate the concept and the context that the speaker was speaking in. Thank you, Shan Shan. Next up, Vivek for stepping up. Vivek, all the way from India. Vivek evaluated Pallavi on her presenting an award. Over to you, Vivek.
And good evening all. It's 9:47 in India. So I'm signing in. My name is Vivek Gupta.
Just give me a minute. Sorry, Vivek. Let me reset the timer for you. Just give me a minute, please. Fiona, would you please refresh the timing? Okay, that's great. Thank you, Vivek. Go ahead, please.
Good evening once again. It's 9:50 in India. So good evening, everyone. Persistent resistance, consistency, determination, and devotions are the base of any success. And these factors are very well connected with this subject and justified the final results as a prestigious award. The opening of the speech, the only way to see the results when you are consistent, that really get the attention of the audience and engross the audience with the subject. The speech was flawless. Everything was going so well. Pallavi was looking so confident on camera. Her eyes was on camera, sitting was proper, hand movements were visible, and overall she was looking so confident. The speech was really good. It was this special occasion, and when she was giving the award to a person. But as we follow the CRC approach, I have to recommend some things in it. And that is the story and little bit of enthusiasm at the end while you're giving the award. The story you have already told that the person is having a man of data and statistics. And he is the person who himself grew as well as he put a lot of efforts in the growth of the club. I was in the scenario, I was thinking that who was the person. I was getting the ideas of many of the celebrities to whom you are giving the award. But once you clarify, all these doubts has been cleared, and that comes to the one person whose name you haven't taken at the last. The only thing is that the story will come with the experience, like what great he had did and what the challenges he has faced during the journey of the Toastmaster would be more effective, give the effectiveness of your speech. And as well as at the end, while you're giving the award, it will be good that if you use the prop or give some enthusiasm in such a way that the consistent performance of ours goes to, this is the angel which goes into the hand of the person who has given the consistency and who is giving the hard work and the blood to the club. And he guesses, he is none other than Toastmaster William Lowe. That gives the energy, the passion of yours to giving the award of the person for his hard work, of his consistency, which he has put and throughout of his journey. Otherwise, the message was very much concise and very much clear, and it was justified, the whole speech, step by step, and motivate others. I'm very much sure that it motivates others to receive the award from you. So best of luck, Pallavi, for your future speeches. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day. Thank you.
Thank you, Vivek. That was a very emotional evaluation that you just shared with us. Thank you. True master at the use of a vocal variety yourself. Thank you. Okay, we have for our next speaker, the evaluator for Vakana, Chatri. Our evaluator hails also from Canada. Stephanie has been a Toastmasters for almost 4 years now and is currently serving as Division D Director in District 96, British Columbia, Canada. During her lifetime, she's lived in 3 different countries and visited over 30 countries herself, lived in 3 and visited over 35. Very well traveled indeed, Stephanie. In the last 6 weeks, she has attended over 50 Toastmasters Club meetings all over the world by Zoom, and she's aiming to visit all 116 districts virtually. Please join me in welcoming Stephanie. Over to you, Stephanie.
Thank you, Madam Chair, fellow Toastmasters, and especially Vikarna. What a great speech. The title was Watch Out for the Fruit. I had no idea what was coming. It was a big surprise. Of course, I was thinking of fruits off a tree or something. Vikarna gave us a great speech. He used, first of all, no, I'd like to start with, he definitely proved some forethought. He felt that to deliver a a humorous speech, he needs some auditory feedback. Also, it was good for me because one of the questions on the evaluation guide is, how did the audience indicate that it was entertained? And Virkana proved great foresight by asking to unmute not everybody, which probably would have caused a lot of distractions, but he handpicked 2 people, and I watched those people throughout. They showed, they were laughing, they showed expressions in their faces that they were entertained. So very well done, and I love the forethought before the speech to arrange for all of that. Vikram used dialogue in his speech, which is always a great strategy to add some life to a speech. He had excellent vocal variety and body language. He even used props, which is not seen a lot. And he shared a lot of anecdotes with us. Very well done. His story was built up as a fluent story of events of one day leading up to the grand finale, which was the theme of the speech. So that was very well done, I thought. I just like to caution Vikram to be mindful of the audience. I personally had no problem with the joke about the fruit, but depending on who you have in your audience, you might have people who feel a little bit offended by a subject that goes in that direction. So just, I don't know if it was a problem here because I don't know the rest of the audience, but this is just, if you approach a subject like that, you just want to be mindful of who is actually in your audience. You probably don't want to do it at your senior's home. Another room for improvement is the background picture. I loved your background picture. It was a nice picture, but it was a very busy scene and it was unrelated to your story. So it took a little bit away from your speech. Maybe next time try to go with a plain background color. For instance, use the blue background that is Toastmasters branded that Dennis was using during his table topics. But otherwise, as mentioned before, the user used great body language and vocal variety. He used his full body in the speech. He moved up and forward and back and side to side, and he used a big range of vocal variety. I thought that was very well done as well. And it was a fluent story of the events of one day leading up to the grand finale, as said before. So I really enjoyed your speech. It was funny, it was entertaining, and it brought back some childhood memories in myself. I'm looking forward to hearing more speeches from you. Back to you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you. Moving right on along, we have something on the more serious note. Doreen delivered a speech by management, 2-segment speech, and I'll call upon the evaluator, Angela Lansbury, to give us her evaluation on Doreen's speech. Over to you, Angela.
Thank you to Toastmaster of the Day and all our enthusiastic listeners. I very much enjoyed Doreen's speech because it was so different from most of the speeches that we hear, and it was a work-related one, which I think is very useful to many people. She'd obviously had to put a lot of effort into this. I didn't quite work out, and I should have asked her earlier whether this was related to the field she actually works in. It was certainly convincing to me. She appeared to have a timeline going over 1 month. And we're now in May, and the timeline finished at the end of May. Now, my feeling is that it would have been very helpful to have clarified that and to have said something like, it's in 28 days in 4 sections of 7 days, or some way to make it clear in our minds. If I hadn't written it down, I would not have remembered that it was ending just before the end of the month. At this point, I should say that I would have liked to have seen some slides. It's not required by the project, but it is mentioned as a possibility. And I think if you're doing something like a timeline, and an event which has a series of steps, that would be very helpful. It would also be lots of fun for the presenter to practice the different ways you could show this, whether it's in a series of columns or in a pie chart, to work out what is the best, or a graph of lines going up and down, to work out how best to present the information. It's supposed to be to an audience who know what she's talking about. As a non-member of her staff, I couldn't work out what CSI and CSB were, and I've had this conversation with people before. They've said, "Oh well, everyone in the audience knows what those things are." There's always the possibility that somebody has joined the company today and doesn't know, or that they brought their wife or son or chauffeur along. That person is bored if you don't explain everything. And two more very quick points. What were the benefits to the staff? Is it going to be more work? Are they going to be more paid? Is it going to be an easier system to use when they've accomplished it? The old line, what's in it for me? Or is it just a lot of hassle and work? And finally, when she gets a question, say, "Oh, that's a good question." And then you can make everyone feel good. All in all, a very enjoyable and educational talk. Thank you, Doreen.
Thank you, Angela. Thank you. Very helpful nuggets of information for us. Thank you, Angela. Now, to wrap up the evening, we have Distinguished Toastmasters Aaron Leung to give us his evaluation of Adeline's contest speech. Aaron, over to you.
No introduction.
Where's your introduction?
I was like, why? Where's my? Okay,
Where's your introduction?
Okay, never mind. Then I will just go straight into the point. Then isn't that good? Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters, it's good and honor to be evaluating Adeline in her speech. Now, her speech is really amazing in a way that she is actually combining 3 world champion speakers into one single speech. Why would I say so? It consists of Aaron Beverly's style. It consists of a bit of Josephine Lee. And it also consists of Darren LaCroix's. Now, I'm going to break it down a bit of each and every single element of what makes her speech good and some challenge points of how she can improve. Now, her speech title, very simple, short, and sweet. Make love easy. Now, this title itself literally has lots of different imaginative sceneries. Now, in terms of that, actually piques our curiosity to really understand what her speech is about. And she purposely, and I will stress on purposely, make it like that kind of situation. Purposely when to start. And she paused with very great effectiveness. That's one good thing about her speech. She plays with words, the master of words. And when you actually use the wordings to a very great extent, that words becomes a tool. And she has been using power of phrase alongside make love easy. And she used contrasting wordings like easy, hard, easy, etc., which is actually putting us in a very nice crux of doing actions repetitively so that we can leave a lasting impression on her speech. So for that simple reason, the stage presence, at least the impression-wise, she get quite a lot of marks for that. So give a round of applause for being very successful and lifting a very lasting impression. Now, alongside, I love the part whereby she introduced 2 little characters within her speech, her husband and the little daughter. And she portrayed really well in terms of gestures and also the intonation. Now, here comes the point whereby I'm going to challenge you on a couple of things. 1, you have focused quite a lot on making love easy for you and your husband. Now, the little character of your Koi, could actually come a bit earlier, because we can actually build along the slide plot so that we can actually see the importance of her being the solutions to both of you. Now, it's about the planning, the character building. You did very well for your husband. Now, I want to see more on the daughter part, because we want to visualize how your daughter really looks like. Describe a bit about her. Make her not just vocal variety to sound adorable. Let us see how it can be. A picture of her may be good. Now, alongside, I will also challenge you on the number 2. This is a practical challenge for online contests. Never move your gestures too quickly. Now, action number 1, I'm going to just demonstrate for a bit. When you do gestures very strongly, it creates a shadow. Now, creating a shadow meaning that people do not see the impact that you have. Now, when you actually go and do online itself, when you do it slowly with more impact, that actually gives a more uplifting flavor. Now, instead of doing very quickly, do it slowly, because you matter to the judges, not the judges matter to you. Because the judges see how you present. And you want the judges to know at least how you present well. There's no contrast. That's at least is actually focus on that part. So highlights, really do it slower, but with more strength in there. That is better than doing quicker, but with less relevance. So that will be very important for you. And I love, I know that the time actually for me is 3 minutes. It's actually not really fair. But the thing is, at least I'm going to focus on one final point for you to really make it better. Is that why not use props online? There's nothing that restricts you from not bringing props. Or you can even wear a hat, or even break it customized to be a personalized sceneries. Do not need to use the virtual background, because you're good for that already. Now, the things to accelerate, to enhance that impact, is to really have that bursting with flavor with your personality within it. Now, you wear a very nice suit, not a suit, a dress in a contest, which is good. Now, I want to see a different contrast, like maybe like a pajamas or stuff, because you're having a bedtime stories, right? So if there is any possibilities of that contrasting moment of letting us feel along with that, that actually gives you bonus points. Now, all in all, really great job on presenting online and even on the webcam. If there's one more challenge that I actually noticed, very picky on that, your eyes actually look to your right, from the camera is actually looking at your left side. So there's actually something there that distracts you a bit. So try to move that away, or maybe, I hope that's not your script. Just move it away, because your eyes can lie. I wouldn't say can lie, that your eyes can also show the nervousness within you. So try to let people know the best side of you instead of letting them to know more about your lack of preparation. But I think you have prepared enough already. It's just that slight glance actually makes us like, what is behind the scene? So that will be the only additional challenge for you, but great job. Your round of applause for that.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmasters Aaron Leung. Wow, evaluation says a lot about you. It's very, very, very observant, and you miss nothing. The timing for all the evaluators have been posted in the chat group, if you'd like to view them. But what's up now is the vote for the best evaluator. So folks, please cast your vote. In the meantime, I would like to invite the R counter to come up. While we were speaking for the last 3.5 hours, somebody was listening intently to you for your pause fillers and your ums and your ahs. I'll call upon Toastmasters Jennifer Lim to share with us her R counter report. Over to you, Jennifer.
Thank you, Toastmasters of the evening. I hope my reception is good.
There's a lot of feedback.
I know.
Do you have more than one device on?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, much better.
Thank you.
But we can't see you.
Yeah, that's why.
Oh, okay.
Just give me a moment.
I was locked out by the other. Okay.
Okay, but you're much clearer now. You're much clearer now. Please proceed.
Okay, fine. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, everyone.
Good evening, Jennifer. Good morning for some people here.
Margaret, I'm not sure whether in the beginning you have introduced the role of R counter, but in any case.
Not yet. Why don't you go ahead?
Okay, thank you. My role as the R counter is to count the number of unnecessary sound or repetitive words you use when you are speaking on the stage. For example, you know, I mean, will be counted in my report. These are feelers that would affect your effectiveness in delivering your speech. At the end of the meeting, which is now, I am now giving you the report. In fact, my role tonight is relatively easy because I don't find a lot of unnecessary fillers. I'll start with Dennis, table topics. You have 6 okay, repetition word, always 2. Steph from Canada, I think 1. Jason asked 6, I think 1. Okay, 1. So 2. You know 1. You have well, yeah, 1 each. Jonathan Yo, so 3. Emilia, nothing. Great. Vivek Gupta, you were the table topic speaker as well as evaluator. And 3. 10, Nandian, nothing. Humin, so 3. 2, 2, 2. Naveen has got 9 and 1 so, you know 1. Repetition, take charge of our life and take charge of our life and. Patrick, 1 R, 1 1 so. B. Buckley, nothing. Margaret, 1 R, 3 N, 1 1 okay. All right. 1. Repetition of and another one of. And you have as well on the some of the well 1. Todd, nothing. Alicia, nothing. Ninashi, 1 Pallavi, nothing. Vikana, nothing. Dorinio, 5 2 okay. Adeline, nothing. Julie, nothing. Dr. Mokis, nothing. Paul Mahoney, nothing. Shanshan, 2 N's. 2 L's, 1 okay. Stephanie, 3 R's. 5 1 They 4 times. Angela Lansbury, 1 N. 4 word repetition or Aaron Leung, nothing. That's all for tonight. Back to you, Toastmasters of the evening.
Thank you. Thank you, Jennifer. That was intense and you lasted through 3.5 hours. That's very impressive. Thank you. And you heard all of it. Wow. We're going to wrap up the evening very shortly, but before we go, we've heard so many good speakers tonight. I'm sure, and you all voted for your personal favorite. So now I would like to announce the best speakers in their respective segments. Drum rolls, everybody. Sorry, this way. Okay. The best table topic speaker is Paul. Paul, where are you? Are you in the room, Paul? Can you unmute if you're in the room?
I definitely am. I'm over
Oh,
the
yeah,
moon.
yeah, Paul, there you are.
I'm so grateful and pleased and thrilled, and thank you very much, everybody. And it was terrific to be here.
It's pleasure's all ours, Paul. Thank you. And we'll hop straight into the best evaluator. The best evaluator for this evening is Aaron Leung. Woo! The man that needs no introduction, and you're the best evaluator this evening. Congratulations, Aaron.
Well said. No introduction.
And there's no other more perfect ending to this evening. And to pair with the best evaluator would be the speaker that our best evaluator evaluated. That would be Adeline Yo. Congratulations, Adeline. We wish you all the best in the upcoming contest, Adeline, and I hope that whatever that Aaron has given to you, you will take it with you and win that contest for District 80. Congratulations again, Adeline. Okay, we've had a very fruitful evening, and I'd like to hand the time over to the club president, Willie Low, to close the meeting. Over to you, Willie.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Singapore Online have a culture. We always ask feedback for guests for overseas. So the first speaker, the first guest I will invite will be Top for Moret. So you are muted. Unmuted. Can you give us a feedback on how we? Just a 1 minute, just a one sentence feedback.
You're asking me? Is that who just okay. I always say a successful Toastmaster meeting is when you learn something, you say something, and you do something. So if those three criteria were met today, and I feel they were met for me, I think you guys had a very successful meeting with somewhere around 50 some odd people in the room. This is a great place to come and hang out with fellow Toastmasters. Congratulations on a good meeting. Well done.
Thank you, Top. Can I have the next speaker for Canada? Stephanie. Stephanie, you are unmuted.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. I enjoyed this meeting very much. I noticed that at times we had over 60 people. I think 62 or something was the biggest number I've seen, with people coming and going. I have never attended a regular club meeting with that many people, and I think it was very well organized. There was a lot of stuff going on in the background. I have been alerted to my evaluation coming up. For instance, I had the evaluation form sent to me as a file via chat. So I just congratulate you. I have attended, like you heard, I have attended my share of Toastmaster meetings online, and this was definitely one of the better organized, but also the longest. But I was glad to be here, and I hope to see some of you on a return visit. Back to you.
Thank you, Stephanie, for Canada. I have Curry for Strategy Peru, the city of love. Okay, you are unmuted, Curry. Or Korea, you are unmuted. You can give us your feedback.
You mean Prague, right? You're not saying Peru.
You mean me from Prague?
Yes, Prague.
Yeah.
I
was like,
sorry guys,
what
I didn't realize you were kind of asking me.
Because I like country.
That is not Peru, Willie.
How to pronounce?
Prague.
Prague. Okay, sorry. Prague. Korea for Prague.
Yes, also I'm a French citizen. I live in the Czech Republic, Prague, and I was invited by one of your members, I think, Panos Korelis, who attended our division contest about 3 weeks ago, and he was actually 4 weeks ago, he was the target speaker of one of the area contests, and then he was the Zoom master for the division contest, and that's how he mentioned your club, and he had recommended that I attended. I have to agree, it's one of the longest I've ever seen. I couldn't honestly stay 3.5 hours behind the computer, but I followed most of it, and I was very impressed by some of the speeches and evaluation. And I just have a question to Todd, because I catched what you said at the end. You said a good meeting is when you learn something, say something, and the third point was? I don't know if you heard me, Todd. You're muted.
You are muted yourself again.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Yes.
So you hear something, you say something, you do something. Remember, we always like to use the rule of three.
Do something.
That is correct.
Thank you very much.
And the most important, you must have fun.
It's even a better one. Guys, I really thank you, and I look forward to joining another one of your meetings whenever I can. Thank you, and have a great weekend.
Thank you. One more last, I guess we have left. Let us go to Adeline, A-E-L-A-I-N, Adeline Rex. Are you there, Eric? You are unmuted. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for inviting me here and letting me join this very big Toastmaster meeting and a very long Toastmaster meeting. And I, just like Todd what said, I had fun. I did, what's the three again? Do something, say something, and what's the last one?
Have fun.
Say something,
Have fun.
do something, and have fun.
Yeah. I really did have fun, and more powers to your club, and I really look forward to joining your next meeting again. Thank you.
Yes, there's a guest from India who would like to speak. Bahatnaja, you are unmuted.
Thank you. I'm from India, but I live in Hong Kong, and I've been very lucky to have Aaron with us in most of our meetings as a general evaluator. So I just saw Aaron. I just wished Aaron at midnight, and he told me he's in a meeting. So I came because of him to wish him happy birthday here. And at the same time, I saw only when I came, he was the evaluator. But what I could hear from the meeting, from everyone, the feedback from the other guests, it looks like to be a very, very interesting club. We are also endeavoring to make our club very good, a distinguished club. And we have a very good feedback today. A wonderful meeting, which only for a few minutes I could see. And lucky to see it because of Aaron. Aaron, please show yourself, and big round of applause to him. Happy birthday to him. Thank you so much.
You just make me hype myself now.
Yes, I love you, darling. You are such a lovely person. God bless you, and God bless all of our fellow Toastmasters. Do invite me back. I would like to be a part of your future meetings.
I have
Thank you so much.
one more last guest, Chip Russell. So, Russell, you are unmuted. Give us your feedback.
Well, good afternoon, Toastmasters. I'm calling you from Orlando, Florida. I belong to Club 28. Club 28, the number is very low because it is the oldest club of Toastmasters east of the Rockies, established in 1933. So we're still cooking. And we had a lot of time today to think and talk, and I enjoyed the meeting. It was very long. I've never intended a Toastmaster meeting that has been this long. So what I will do is tip my hat, but not very much because I haven't had a haircut in about 6 weeks. Oh my God. So, I invite you to come and listen to our club as well. We meet on Thursday evening, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. So I appreciate you guys, and you guys are we're all going through a lot at this point in our lives, and this is a lifesaver, Toastmasters, for thousands of people. So appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rusher. Thank you, Toastmaster Top, for giving us some direction. Say something, learn something, do something, and have fun. This is what Singapore Online is already doing. We are still a young club. We keep on improving, and hopefully we met the statement that what Toastmasters told that have mentioned that. It was a long meeting. I also want to thank Margaret, Toastmaster Margaret, for taking the opportunity to be the Toastmaster of the day, our first online club meeting as a Toastmaster of the day. Let us wave her hand and give her some congratulations because she did a good job despite some minor hiccup, but she made it throughout the end. That is a very, I mean, I can say that it's a first timer on an online club meeting. She make it quite well. Everyone make mistake, but we are still the lesson. The motto is no matter what. Okay, let me go back to my opening message. For club member, respect means understanding that each member is a person with his own skill and ability, goals and ambitions, strengths and weakness. That's why in Toastmasters, we are all learning. We are not a professional speaker or trainer. We are just improving our skill day by day. And have a nice midnight morning for people in Asia Pacific. For people in Europe, it's an afternoon for you, lunchtime. For people who are in the US, the east or the west coast of US, it's a morning for you. Thank you very much for attending this meeting of us. We hope you come back to this meeting again. Every Friday, same time, same day, same Zoom account. Thank you. The meeting is happy adjourned.